You have to fail multiple times to find the right way. But once you find that right flow, and you're gonna be more successful.
Resilience is kind of understanding that like bad things will happen and that like you can turn those into opportunities to grow and become a stronger person.
When I was young, I was one of the only women in climbing. I was the kid at the gym climbing with all the older dudes. I think for me it was sort of like a proving ground.
I've had those struggles too, that people have been upset that there's been a black person in their gym. And I'm resilient because I don't let it stop me.
Adversity teaches you to fail properly. And if you're not willing to accept failure, then you're never gonna learn to grow.
Bro, whatever you can throw at me, like, you're not gonna take me away from what I wanna do. You can't stop me.
Whether you're alpine climbing or cragging after work, Gnarly Nutrition is here to help you push your possible.
Travel doesn't have to be this super exotic international thing. It can really be out of your own backyard. The high desert is so three-dimensional and it's so big that there is no way you could ever see everything here. The orange and brown and yellow is just so endless. Whether it's something I've done before or something brand new, there's so much to explore just right here.
So yeah, we've been testing out the new catch and hold system from the TrueBlue IQ Plus. And with the IQ Plus, you know, you're just able to stop there, rest, shake out, try to figure out the moves, and yeah, really excited to have this new device in our gym. It's going to just really help us to continue growing the sport.
Since 1966, we have viewed walls not as obstacles, but as opportunities. From the big walls of Yosemite to the high peaks of the Himalaya, we were searching for a personal kind of freedom. In this pursuit, we found a community, strengthened by different stories, experiences, and perspectives. This community has shown us that the only way forward is together.
Lone Star State and home of the USA Climbing 2023 Paraclimbing National Championships. USA Climbing is happy to be at the beautiful, brand new, state-of-the-art Mesa Rim Climbing Center. I'm Megan Martin here with former paraclimbing athlete Miss Karima Batts. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure to be here. I love nationals. I've loved it since I was the first female paraclimber here in this competition. And we got nothing but the best top athletes in America about to hit the wall today.
Yes, we're so excited. So athletes here looking to get on the national team to be able to compete in the World Cups. We're going to take the top 3 from each classification. So let's get a look into what we're going to see today at this competition. So the way this works, the top men and women from each class, at least 1 and at most 6 from every category. You'll see 4 routes on the wall, but every athlete only climbs 1 route with a 6-minute clock. 12 total champions will be crowned here tonight, and those athletes are going to then compete in the World Cups later on this season. So a lot at stake here today and so much excitement to see. And right now you see some of the B athletes. So that is that vision impaired category, the B1, B2 athletes. They're getting a preview of the route with their callers. So you see them with their callers. The caller is explaining to them exactly what is going on. That relationship between caller and athlete is quite simpatico.
It is. Actually, Fernando, who we just saw on the screen, has been doing this since 2014 Dijon World Championships.
Wow.
Out of Atlanta. And Ravina, a teenager, is actually a dynamo. What's very interesting about this is when I say simpatico, I mean if you don't like your wife, this is not the place to put her in. And so you have to be intuitive as if you're on the wall. When they say put yourself in someone else's shoes and also know the other person's body, it's beyond being a climber, it's beyond being a coach.
Exactly. Well said, Karima. And let's take a quick look at those classifications that we will see here today. Now, we do have 2 sessions. So quick look, you have your RP1, RP2, RP3. Those are those neurological/physical disability categories. B1, B2, B3 we just talked about. Visual impairment. AU1, AU2, upper extremity amputee, AL2, lower extremity amputee, AL1, seated, and then the open and youth category. So that open and youth category, basically in the open, we have that classification process that happens before this event. So if you didn't get into a specific classification that we listed before, you are in the open. And then the youth is kind of the same way, except you are under 15 years old. So we do have some youth competitors here today.
Yeah, we do have a few youth competitors, and some of these youth competitors have gone on to be some of the top athletes that we see in open right now, who've just killed it in last year's season. So we're excited. We're basically seeing the future of paraclimbing in this small youth category. And then also with the open category, we have a classification process that happens in which medical review determines the category each climber is going to be in. And if they don't have the right documentation or the right diagnosis, they actually end up in open. And because we believe in equity here in climbing, we want to make sure they still get the opportunity to compete and podium, which is not what actually the rest of the federations are doing. So we have open category with an actual podium this year for the first time ever.
Which is so exciting to have it here, and also in a brand new gym. So these athletes are getting to get on these walls before most anybody in the country has been able to. So really exciting. And one thing I want to note about that youth category, it was really cool because a lot of those youth athletes yesterday during the qualification, the athletes had 3 climbs that they needed to climb, but I noticed a lot of the youth athletes continuing to climb. I'm pretty sure that Lynn Poston maybe got on every route yesterday, which was really exciting to see them do that. So
yeah, but
lots
also
of energy.
I think everybody can understand about a kid, sending your project on the first go. So I'm sure some of the para athletes would probably feel a little bit of that Jones and saying oh my gosh, next year I got to watch out for this kid.
Yeah, exactly. A quick look at some of our youth athletes, which similar to if you haven't ever watched a climbing competition, this is what happens during a preview time period. Athletes discussing what's going on, discussing what they might do, trying to talk to their friends if they have friendships with these athletes, which a lot of these athletes are quite friendly with one another, as the climbing community is. So it's cool to watch everyone discuss. And so because they have that 6-minute clock to climb the route, the preview period is also 6 minutes. So that's what you're seeing here, that 6-minute time period ending, and all the athletes going back to isolation. I believe we're going to kick things off with the B category. So a lot of those B athletes are going to probably stay in somewhat of a secondary isolation area so that they can get ready to get on the wall. But So much climbing to come. We're excited to watch it. We're
a lot
glad
of information,
here.
but we're here for you. So if your head was spinning on the descriptions, we got you. We're going to layman's it down for you. You don't have to be a PT, or OT, or a person with a disability to enjoy what's about to happen today.
Exactly. So we can't wait to get things started, seeing these athletes on these routes. And yeah, we're going to get it going pretty soon here as athletes make their way back into isolation.
The first category up is always going to be the B category. We do this because absolute silence has to happen during this competition so that the caller can disseminate the information of beta, and very specific beta, which we'll explain later, to the paraclimber on the wall. So this is different from the finals with able-bodied, where you'd be like pumping music and everything. We're actually going to be silent in this first category. And I mean, it's hard not to applaud.
Well, honestly, my favorite part about that is the tension just builds. Like, the entire crowd is just dying to get loud, because as climbers, that's what we do generally. We do get loud, and we like to cheer on our fellow athletes. So at the end, it's always this huge roar of excitement from the crowd, and it's so amazing. And Karima, I just want to talk about you for a second. So we mentioned paraclimbing athlete, one of the first paraclimbing athletes in the USA. Also, you run the adaptive climbing group, and honestly, you wear 1,000 hats, but just tell us a little more about yourself.
That's why I cut off all my hair, so I could fit all the hats on. You know?
Hats on.
But yeah, I mean, I do have some athletes here in finals, but I'm very objective because I've probably sponsored about 100 paraclimbers through adaptive climbing groups, some who are competing today that are not on our sponsor team this year. So honestly, I'm always cheering for everyone. I just love watching climbing competitions in general, whether it's able-bodied or paraclimbing. Just the movement is amazing.
It is. I think that's one thing that draws us all into climbing, is we are inspired by the movement, the way we can articulate movement, figure out movement, and that is just what keeps us climbers hooked on climbing, is because we're just obsessed with movement. I'm safe to say movement junkies, perhaps.
Yeah.
We're kind of just so into it.
Yeah, I'm a movement junkie. Music, climbing, like I don't care. Like let's just get going. And also, it's the quality of life for people with disabilities to be able to get and climb. And this is probably the most inclusive parasport that actually does exist. And there's a lot on the line here. It's a world championship year, and actually, we're in the same gym that the able-bodied nationals comp happened, right?
Exactly.
Literally just the day before.
The NTT was,
Some of the
ago,
judges and the volunteers are actually the athletes that you saw competing the other day.
Exactly, and a lot of those athletes stayed and are here watching or volunteering. I know we'll probably see Kyra Condi later. She's been taking photos throughout this paraclimbing competition so far.
She actually helped with our training camp this year for my team.
Recently. And there's some other things that are in the works for paraclimbing, as the Paralympics 2028. Paraclimbing is really trying to get in there. Really exciting time. We have all got our fingers crossed that it happens, because we definitely have some athletes here that if that happens, you could see them there. But as you hear Al on the mic back there, we're getting ready to start that B category. And so
the only time you get to cheer, so scream at your screen
now, because we're about to get real close. Really exciting to get this kicked off here with that B category. And again, like Karima was saying earlier, this is the B1 category. So we are going to be silent while these climbers are on the wall. So honestly, jealous of you people at home, because you can scream at your TV all you want. But over in this venue, we are going to be a little on the quiet side. So that B1 category having the least field of vision, hence the B1. B2 has a little more field of vision, B3 more than B2. And one thing about that B1 category is they will be climbing with a blindfold on. Correct, Karima?
Yeah, they will be actually climbing with a blindfold on in the B1 category, because the way that the field of vision is measured in B1 is the most impaired vision, meaning that they have 5% less. So to even a playing field on that completely visual impairment, a blindfold is over the eyes for that particular category.
Yeah, just in case, it's hard to measure the minute fields of vision in that specific moment. So putting the blindfold on gives everyone that same level of playing field there. And I believe we have Kevin Chow out first tonight. I was back in ISO a second ago with him, and he was like not necessarily so psyched about coming out first. I was like, that's the best though. When you come out first, you set the tone for the whole competition. That's my favorite spot. I was like, you'll have the crowd behind you, it'll be amazing. And he was like, yeah, but not till the end of the route. And I was like, well, this is true, but you get the giant roar of the crowd, which is always really exciting as an athlete to have the support of the crowd. So the crowd will be silently supporting while Kevin's on the wall, but then you'll hear this place erupt after that.
I don't know this person.
A little look at some of the routes here. So I think it'd be a good time, Karima, to talk about that 2-system belay that we'll see here for the top roping. So if you've seen top roping before, it might look a little different in this competition, but there is a reason for that.
Right, so we have a 2-rope belay system, which is very different from your able-bodied comp, but we're still using a lead wall, but no one's clipping in. And because of that, this system actually is a safety precaution for our paraclimbers that might swing out, hit the wall, or have an unexpected drop. And there's a lot of different abilities that cannot take a big fall in deck. I mean, I don't know anybody who can take a big fall in deck, but, you know.
Exactly. So the goal is to make sure everybody is safe in this competition, but also with climbing, you're never waiting the rope. The rope is supposed to be there for your safety, but you're supposed to, as you're climbing, feel like you are just free and have nothing attached to you. But we do have that rope to keep you safe and make sure that everything goes well. And we have some great belayers out here. I think Karima mentioned earlier, we did have a competition earlier this week. So this entire week, we've had so many volunteers, judges, belayers, lots of people staying the entire week to make sure we get both of these events covered. So shout out to all those volunteers. We always need more.
Definitely.
I feel like no event can run without volunteers. So if you're in the Texas area and all of a sudden you're like, I think I could volunteer in session 2, please come out. After session 1, we have another round of finals.
Yeah,
session
actually,
2 later on today.
Some of our volunteers are actually program leaders in the paraclimbing movement. I don't know if you saw a flash of this guy with the hat, but that guy actually represents Paradox Sports. And then, of course, we have Ty, who's longtime belayer of both able-bodied and paraclimbing comps. But he says this is his favorite. I'm not really sure. He was just saying that, but I'm sure it is.
He tells the truth.
Yeah, man.
You can
I love
trust
that dude.
Ty.
He's straight, you know.
He's a straight shooter.
Straight shooter. And then, like, we have some more volunteers, longtime people who just love what we're doing with the sport, and we just couldn't do it without them. I just want to give it a shout out and thank you to all the different people who have even flew in to be volunteers. You know, people flew in just to volunteer.
Exactly. Flying in to volunteer is incredible, and we're getting a nice look at this gym. Like we were saying, brand new, Mesa Rim, Austin. Grand opening is on the 7th, which I believe is tomorrow. Oh, that's Tuesday. So this is the first time a lot of people are in this gym. This week is the first time this gym has had this many people in it, and I'm sure they're looking to have lots of people going forward once they do open. You can see these extremely tall walls, really open areas, great amenities here. There's a sauna, really clean, safe mats. All the pads here are nicely flat, no seams. You know, climbing can be dangerous, so you want it to be as safe as possible. Nice little QR code there to find the results once this competition starts going, even if you want to go ahead and look at the results from yesterday in the qualification. Hopefully we won't have to do any countbacks today. Hopefully all the separation happens and we don't have to go to countbacks to see who is in that top 3, but those are those results. QR code there if you want to check out what's going on and what's to come. And it looks like we're going to get things started soon as Kevin is making his way to the wall right now with his caller, Kyle.
This is Kevin Chow's first ever Nationals competition.
Everyone taking advantage of the cheering right now because soon, like we were saying before, you are going to have to get quiet in this venue, and I think we're going to go ahead and get quiet now. So let's enjoy Kevin Chow's attempt of the men's B1 route. That's his caller, Kyle Leinen, and I'm just going to get quiet here.
Hey, so this is your first time actually being able to be here with us at Nationals.
Well, I was saying in isolation with all the athletes. I was like, I've only got to watch paraclimbing at international competitions. I've never actually come to Nationals unfortunately for this event, because it's usually separated off of the other events. So I'm so excited to finally get a chance.
But you've always been a great ally to me. I loved, like, just, you know, in the background.
So we're going to get quiet as Kevin looks like he's getting ready to start climbing on this route.
Being the first one out is a lot of pressure. I think Kevin is handling it very well.
Okay, right above that one's another hold of the volume with a little jib on it. Yep, and then you have another hold just like that right above it. Stand up, reach out far left with a big undercling. And now walk your feet up to high left foot, higher. A little higher with the left foot. Because you're going, can you get your left foot up higher? All right, nice, Kevin. Bump your left foot, though. There you go. Reach up high right hand over the volume, over the top, lower down, keep going, down to the right. There you go. That's a nice one. Now bring your foot way right, farther down, perfect. Now cross your left hand over your right. Farther to your right, farther right there in the dish. Nice. Reach up, nice. Now put your right foot out farther right if you can. There you go. Perfect. Now reach up, and there's another big volume for your right hand, right above your head. Kevin, straight above your head. There you go. Big volume. Take your time, breathe. Hold on, you're good, you're good. Hold on. Can you stretch out, can you rest a little? Your next hold's one hold up right above your right hand. I'm going to start and go one more move. Let's go one more big move, Kevin. Breathe. Okay, take. You can like a nicely done.
That was amazing.
By Kevin Chow, especially coming out first in his first competition. First finals, yeah, really exciting. It was really cool to see his collar in that lower screen there. You see his collar giving him all of the information he needs, but obviously you can't be too specific. There are rules as you're giving beta. Also, it's really cool because each collar has a different style that they work through. You see right here, he's just trying to figure out how to get to that next hold. Earlier, he was kind of figuring out if he needed to go out right a little and then came back to that section, but great climbing there for Kevin Chow. He's going to get 33 points. And so the way the scoring works is like any top rope or lead competition, you get scored points per hold, and if you fall with positive motion to the next hold, you're going to get a plus, which is worth 0.1. So
I'm sure people are wondering, like, oh, is it wrong to give beta during a competition? Well, there are actual rules to the beta that's being given by the caller. They're not exactly allowed to tell you what shape of the hold is. It's more like an area. So if they say, hey, you know, you have a good, you know, right hand or good left hand, you know, they can't be too specific with the beta because that's actually against the rules.
Exactly. So tricky what you can and can't say, but again, that's what these callers practice with their climber, right? They are working together all the time. They kind of speak their own language in a sense because they can communicate on that high level so well. So they know what they can and cannot say. And honestly, in climbing, I feel like for the most part, climbers tend to be honest about what they're doing, and nobody tries to kind of push the line with any kind of cheating or whatnot. We don't see that a lot in climbing, you know, so I feel like it's probably not as much of an issue because people are just, you know, following the rules, which is awesome. I feel like as a sport and community, we tend to keep to those guidelines. Nice look at the crowd filling in here.
What's that, Eris?
Look back into that isolation area. So athletes back there, they had an hour window to get back into that ISO area. Once you check in, no phones. So coaches don't have phones, athletes don't have phones. You can have cameras and whatnot, and obviously for the B category, you can have your communication device that you're going to use, because we just saw that with Kevin going with his collar. They are communicating through Bluetooth, which is great. How does it feel back there, Karima, when you're getting ready to come out? I'm sure you've been in ISO many a time, not just as an athlete, but also as a coach.
I think as a coach, I mean, your whole idea is not to show them how nervous you are for them. Because, you know, you like place yourself into your climber's body. And one of the things back there, there are some amazing, dedicated coach, most who are volunteering their time to be there for these athletes. And they feel like they are up on that wall with them. But also, there's this great community vibe. I know there's people who want to win, but people want to see other people win. You know what I mean? So I feel there's like a little bit of both going on back there. And honestly, if you see back the ISO, you might see a couple of, you know, chill people getting into the zone, but you also see a lot of smiles back there.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I always think it's nice to kind of balance that relaxation time and, you know, getting ready and prepared mentally time. So, and also with that hour, an hour is a nice time period in order to like get into ISO early. I was always the type of person who liked to get into isolation a little early, so you had at least like 10-20 minutes to just chill before you needed to start preparing for your climbing.
I think what's amazing about this is also some of the same setters that you saw in the able-bodied national team trials are the same ones that are here today. And it's a different kind of run and show. I was talking to Marco Santos, who you see seated there next to the guy with the black jumper, is that he's like, I'd never done setting for this comp before. This is my first time, and I had to
Marco's
do so many.
On the left?
On the left, yeah. He's like, I did so many floor runs because we have to do like floor runs for 18 categories. We have to climb it as we had one leg. We have to climb it if we had one arm. We have to climb it visually impaired and like pretend like be that person and do that floor run to make sure the route's correct.
And on top of just the floor run, they're also checking to make sure that all the falls are going to be safe enough as well, because they want to make sure that they're not going to put anyone in too precarious of a situation. And route setters do that in that top rope lead category all the time, because at the end of the day, you want people to be able to go out there, try their hardest, and not be worried about what a fall could possibly do to them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really big thing, you know, like we already come in here with the injuries and we're trying to leave with a little bit less. A scratch or two, yeah, fine, but let's not go too far. We actually are still in our MB1 category, meaning male B1, which again, we are just explaining for those who are coming in. The reason why you don't hear a lot of pumping music during the climb is going to be because the room needs to be silent. As you notice, the caller and the climber wear headsets. And these headsets, Bluetooth headsets, is so that the beta can be delivered during the climb. And so what we try to do is give them that advantage of hearing by holding our cheers and all this tension build up so that they can get to the top.
Yeah, and that's Aris Gandari and his caller, Saeed Ali, just trying to make sure that their communication devices are firing with one another. We all know Wi-Fi sometimes does not cooperate.
Right, and these are Bluetooth headphones. I mean, one of these headsets are about at least $150.
Wow.
So just the adaptive alone, you get to go out with just a pad and some shoes. You know, if we get into this sport, it's even more expensive for us.
Up next, we have Aris Skandari for the men's B1 category with his caller, Saeed Ali.
Yeah, Saeed and Eric Skandari are out of New York City, actually, and they're from the New York Paracliffhangers team. They climb at the cliffs in Long Island City and Gowanus, New York City, one of the local gym chains. I got to meet Edris. He started climbing in our weekly sessions at Adaptive Climbing Group in Queens, and I was like, you know, you look like a competitive climber, and soon enough, there he is. This is his, I believe, maybe a second or third nationals, and every year I see him, he just gets stronger and better, and the relationship between Saeed and him gets stronger and stronger, and that's what's definitely needed in this type of competition with this style of climbing.
So true. And more recently, well, a few years ago in Los Angeles, he was 5th in the men's B1 category at the Los Angeles World Cup. So lots of experience here from Aris.
Yeah.
Excited to see what he's going to do here today with climbing in general, especially the lead/top rope category, or discipline, I mean. Getting a top is the goal. So we, as viewers, always want to see if the athletes can make it to the top. So we haven't seen it yet with one climber out here on this route, but perhaps Aris will be the one to make it happen as he's just putting his shoes on quickly. I also liked his choice of blindfold with the silk eye mask. Those are pretty comfortable. Another look at those classifications. The RPs on the top, those neurological/physical disability categories. B categories, visual impairment, which is what we're seeing right now, that B1 category. AU1, AU2, upper extremity amputees. The AL2 category, lower extremity amputees. AL1, the seated category, and then opening youth. And correct me if I'm wrong, Karima, you said AL2 is one of the first category or classifications that happened in paraclimbing?
Actually, yeah, our first paraclimbing competition was more of like a feature in the Citizens Cup back in 2013, and myself and 6 male leg amputees traveled to Colorado and, you know, featured to USA Climbing as a featured medal sport.
Wow, that's so amazing. And look how far this sport has come since then, as Aris is feeling the opening holds on this route, getting all set with his caller, Saeed. And we're going to go ahead and let him climb and see how he interprets all of the movements on this route. Every climber always interprets the movements differently. Everyone has their own style, and that's one of my favorite things to watch about climbing is how each person problem solves, because we're all different, we're all unique in our own way, and we all have different ways and comfortabilities when it comes to moves that we feel good in. You know, I personally hate toe hooks and love a heel hook.
I love a good chimney, you know.
See, there we
go. As a plus-size climber, I just get in where I fit in.
I love that. Get in where you fit in. So we're going to let Aris Skandari get going on his route now.
Left hand above your right hand. Right, left hand. Yep. Okay, right foot up, just above your knee. Okay, right hand 1 o'clock. Left foot up. Lower, lower, lower. Yep. Okay. Now left hand above your head. Check. Yep. Like that, left foot up. Feel it, feel it. Yep, feel it. Feel that, feel that. Yeah. Now right hand above that one.
I have a question for you. Do you think that the collar looks really chill, but is it really chill? I mean, this is very tense climbing and stuff going on right now. And already, you know, Edris is in the high point for this category, going in, looking really strong, moving very confidently. And that's why, you know, the connection between collar and climber is actually very, very important. Have you ever tried this before?
Me personally, I have not tried this before, but I could imagine as the caller, it's a lot of managing of the stress because, like you were saying earlier, when you're watching people, especially people that you care about climbing, it can be almost more stressful than yourself climbing. So I feel like that's quite an ask of the caller to, one, be on point calling, but also to keep their emotions at bay while they're watching someone they really care about climb and hoping that they are able to do their best.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way now because I know Edris personally. I feel like I want to scream when I can't. But also, you know, the caller has this thing is that if this climber is freaking out on the wall, he has to be real chill and calm and give direction, and if they see their body in a certain position, figure out how to communicate more effectively while staying in with the rules of calling.
Yeah, it is definitely a skill that I would imagine would take quite some time to find your footing in. I will say the first experience I had with someone in the B category was Justin Salas. Oh, so close there.
So good. Very good job for Edris and all the climbers here today. For those who are just tuning in right now, this is the B1 category, where in which these folks are in the least amount of field division, which is why you will see this particular category wearing an eye cover. So that means this person has 5% or less or zero field division, and just to make that category super even, they are wearing a blindfold. It's the only category you will see a blindfold, and out of all the visual impairment categories.
Another look at where Eris was on this part of the route, really having to find those positions. So the one thing about that B category is you're going to see these athletes, they end up in walk-off positions a lot, right? That's the whole part of it, because they're having to have enough endurance to hold a position and then feel around for the, not just a hold, right? They're trying to feel around for the hold in sequence, which they're getting from their callers. So it takes a lot of endurance to be able to hold those positions and find those holds. So
yeah, I see some pros in the crowd. Look, there's Kyra Condi, Olympian back there. We got a bunch of folks. We got some USA Climbing Board members here to see the action, because, you know, this is exactly where the action is at right now.
The action is here, and with that attempt, Eris Skandari is at the top of the leaderboard in that B1 category with a 34 plus, so he did get positive movement towards that next scored hold, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Remember, athletes come into the finals round in reverse order of how they qualified, so that puts Eris qualifying in third place into the final here. We have 4 men in this final who've kind of got different classifications with different amount of finalists, because we choose the amount going to finals based off of the participation in that classification. So that's why you're going to see some athletes having 4 or 5 competitors. Maybe there's just 1 or 2 competitors in the final. So it's going to be more of a varying number of finalists per classification and category.
Right. And there's some categories that are definitely pretty stacked. You know, there's some popular categories, and it's all about, you know, ability and to, you know, get what you need where you need it. And so now we're getting ready for the next competitor, a very seasoned competitor in this category. This is Bill Kassan. I've probably known him since the beginning of this comps.
Yeah.
Probably.
Bill Kassan, he is in Denver, Colorado. When I used to live in Colorado, I used to see Bill all the time. Generally saw him at the Boulder Rock Club training. That's his caller, Amy Bannon. And like you said, he's been around for a long time, been to many international competitions, 5th place being his best result at the Salt Lake City World Cup in the B1 category just last year. That was his best result in an international competition, and he was 2nd at nationals in this event last year. So
Yeah.
Seasoned competitor, like you were saying, and I'm sure he's psyched to get on this route and see what he can do on it.
Definitely.
Just checking that the belayer has everything right.
And again, that double belay rope system, just for those who are just, hopping in right now, is a safety precaution in paraclimbing because, if you don't know where you're falling or, you don't have complete control over your body or movement, you could deck. And so this was something that was implemented after the 2014 Dijon World Championships.
Amy bringing Bill to the wall and getting him ready to start his attempt of the men's route. Remember, all these athletes have one attempt on this route with a 6-minute clock. So they have to make sure that they're within that 6 minutes in order to keep climbing. Otherwise, they would be called off of the wall. So Bill is going to get started here on the men's route.
Yep. All right. It's going to be 12 o'clock short for your left hand. Yep, good. It's going to be a 12 o'clock for your left again. And then yep, there you go. Good. You've got the feet out to your left. Yep. Side of your knee. Good. It's going to be a 12 o'clock long for your right.
So you're getting to hear exactly how the beta is going right now. And we talked about this beta before, about how it has to be very specific and everybody has a certain style of giving that beta.
You've got a left, I don't know. Yep, there you go.
And Amy is using what we call the clock method, meaning relation to your body part to where a hold is, and that is something that is taught in mobility for people with visual impairment.
Good, inside of your right knee.
Exactly, so let's go ahead and just listen to Bill and Amy on this route right now.
Quite yet. You have a hold 12 o'clock short for your right hand. Yep, right there. And then you have foot outside of your right knee. If you want to switch, good, nice. And it's going to be 12 o'clock short for your left hand. Inside. Yep, and then one right above it for your right. Good. And then outside of your left knee. Yep, down. Good. And then it's going to be a 1 o'clock short for your right hand. Yep, good. And then you have feet at your left knee where your hands just were. High. Yep, good. And then 12 o'clock left hand. Inside. Yep, good. There's one right above it. Big jug. Yep, feet are going to be for your left. Yep, in there. Those are your 2 feet. Good. Nice. And then it's going to be a short 12 o'clock from there for your left or right. Inside. Good. Yep. And then you've got feet at your left knee. Yep, right there. Good. And then it's going to be a 12 o'clock right hand. Outside. Outside is on top of that hold. Good. And then outside of your right knee, you've got, yep, right there. And there's one outside even further. Yep, right there. Good. And then it's going to be a longer 12 o'clock reach for your right hand. On top of the dual text inside, on top of it. Yep, there you go. Outside of your left knee, you have that big jug for your foot. Yep, or right above it if you want it. And it's going to be 11 o'clock long for your left hand on the other side of the triangle. Other side, good. Right hand on the other side. Inside of your ankles for your left or right foot. Good. And then you have outside of your left knee, foothold. Yep. And it's going to be an 11 o'clock medium for your left hand. Yep, right there. Good. And then outside of your right knee. Yep. Good. You have a wider one if you want it, where your hand just was. Outside on top of the volume. Yep. And then it's going to be a 12 o'clock medium for your right hand on the triangle. You got it. You got it. Hang on. Hang on. Yep. Right there. Top, inside, inside, inside. There. Good. You've got, yep. Keep moving up that foot. You have a right foot outside of your right knee. Up on top of the dual text. Yep. And then it's going to be a short 12 o'clock for your left hand or right hand. You can bump to the undercling just to the left of that. Undercling to the left. Left hand. Nice. There you go. Recover. Good. Yep, you have a big left foot. Big left foot at your left knee. Good. Nice. And then it's going to be good. A 12 o'clock for your right hand on top of this big hold. Yep. And then you're going to want to transition, get your foot inside of your right knee. Inside of your right knee. Yep, outside of your right knee if you want it. Yep, and it's going to be a 12 o'clock short for your left hand. Hold on top of a hold. Inside, 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 down. Inside that hold. Yep, good. Nice. And then it's going to be a 12 o'clock for your right hand or left hand. Nice.
Oh, whoa. Great attempt there.
And great calling by Amy Bannon.
I was going to say, so cool to hear the way in which she communicates with Bill. Like I was saying earlier, every caller has their own style to communicate with their athlete. Obviously, she was using a lot of clockwork in order to help him find where each hold was. I really liked that save that he had earlier, and immediately she's like, you got it, you got it, you got it, the encouragement, and you just really see that level of trust there between the caller and the athlete. So nice job there by Bill Casson. Going to get that 33, similar to Kevin Chow, so they'll be in that same position points-wise here. Of course, Bill qualifying higher up into this round, so due to countbacks will be ahead of Kevin. So right now those are your top 3 athletes, with one more climber in this B1 category to come. So these athletes fighting for that top 3 spot to make it onto the team. Another look at Bill Casson's score here of 33 points in the men's B1 category.
That was really exciting for me. It's really hard to not cheer for your friends.
Yeah, welcome to the booth and welcome to my life. Very difficult when, the other day I think I accidentally started clapping on the live because it was such an exciting route and I kind of forgot where I was for a second and was terrified with what was happening in front of me. But yeah, you're just supposed to be pretty quiet over here in terms of the rest of your body. No clapping, no screaming and yelling. So we're just here to call the competition, but it is hard because the climbing community is so close and we're so close with so many of the athletes and we want them all to do so well. So it's hard not to be that cheerleader, especially both the two of us having coached in the past. You are used to being loud, so it can be really difficult to reel it in.
Yeah, it can be. But I can be objective because I actually just love everybody here. And I want everyone to do well. But the cool thing is those B athletes are, wow. What is it? I call it the permanent lock-off category.
Basically the lock-off strength is so impressive. A first look at our next competitor and final competitor in this category, Justin Proctor. He was the national champion last year in B1, and he also is another athlete who has quite a lot of experience on the international scene. 4th place being his best finish. He did that twice, once in Los Angeles in 2021 and then in Salt Lake last year. So looking to get back on that team and hope to improve upon those international rankings that he already has.
Oh, yeah. And then also on top of that, he's probably one of the younger competitors and originally from Hawaii, but lives in Massachusetts and climbs with CRG Adaptive Climbing Group.
Just taking a second here to make sure that the belayer has their Grigri and carabiner in the correct way and locked. As athletes, we always want to make sure our belayers are taking good care of us. And Justin with his caller, Emmett Flynn. And I'm really excited to hear the style of communication here between the caller and the athlete in this situation. Like I said earlier, everyone has a different style, so really awesome to hear how everyone communicates.
Indeed.
Sometimes I don't make any sense when I'm trying to communicate, so.
Sweet.
And we're excited to start listening in and watching Justin on his
cross,
attempt.
left, match feet, get left foot by left knee, right 12-2, match feet, left foot by left knee, left 10-1, right crossover, and then left 9-1. Bring right foot up by right hip, right 12-2, right. Yep. Match in left on the left one, and then right 12-1. Or actually, let's go right 12-2, and then bring left foot in, heel. Left foot crossover right, or left hand crossover right. Right. There you go. Right 2-1. Yep. Left foot there. Left foot 12-3, or left hand 12-3. Right foot by hip in. Yep. Right 12-2. Yep. And then let's go right foot above left foot. And then left foot match that in. Or left foot higher. And then match that with your left hand. Match that hand. Right 2-1. 2-2. Yep. Right foot up and right by your right hip. Further, way out right. Yep. Match that hand. Right 1-1. Bring your left foot, right there. Down, yep. Left 11-1 or 11-2. Yep. Bring your left foot up by your left knee. Cross right through left. Left. There, yep. And then match in with left. And now go left 11-2. Yep. Bring match feet. Bring left foot out left. Higher. Now cross right over left. And then bump that up one more time. Higher. Yep. Bring right foot up. Higher. Right. Down. Yep. Left hand to an undercling above your head. Yep. And then match feet. And bring left foot up. Yep, there. And match that. Bring right foot up one. Down and left. Yep, there. Right 12-3. Yep, down. There should be a jib there. And you're going to match that. And bring your left foot up. Now bring right foot up by your right knee. Yep. And now you're going to go right 12-1. Left foot above your right foot. There, yeah. Left cross over right. Right. Yeah, there. Right foot 2 feet right. Down and right. Further. Yeah, right there. Right, yeah. Further right. There should be a jib up there. Now, get your left foot up by your left knee. And you're going to make a big cross move up and left with your left hand. Right. Up and right. Further. Oh, shit.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
close on that cross.
I was just holding
man.
your arm. I hope
know.
your arm is okay, because I was like, we got to be quiet. Oh, my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I know. That was really hard to be quiet there. Really loved hearing the communication between the two of them. Lots more abbreviation, I felt like. I mean, we didn't see that as much from Amy and Ben. This was more subtle communication here. So Justin, with that attempt, is going to put him on the top of the leaderboard. So our winner, Justin Proctor, 35 plus. So close on that cross.
So close.
So close.
I think it's the cross, because, trying to communicate a cross can
Exactly.
sometimes be really hard.
Yeah. Another look at him here, high up on the route. The other thing is you're seeing a lot of shine come off a lot of those holds. That is a hold that has a slippery texture and a friction texture, so it's a dual text hold. So these athletes are also having to be so precise, stepping in the right place. Another look at that cross, and right here he gets just to the bottom of it, but just a little too low, also hitting a little bit of that slippery part of the hold. Great effort there by Justin Proctor, and I'm sure he's going to be happy to be walking away with a first place finish there, earning himself a spot on that national team. So going to be able to get back out there and compete in more of those World Cups this year. And he's going to be putting on a headset in a second, and we're going to get to talk to him about his championship win. So we'll be hearing from him in just a second. All right, I'm told he's putting it on right now. So Justin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Amazing job on the route there. You looked so fluid and smooth. Tell us a little bit about that cross at the end.
Oh my God! I didn't know how much I had in me, but first I have to. Oh my God! Emmett Flynn, first comp call.
First comp
Amazing.
call?
Yes.
Wow. I was saying how simpatico the two of you were. Your communication is incredible.
People should know. Our joke is he's my third stringer. We had 3 sessions last week where I was like, "This is how you do it," but you know what? We're here to have fun. He killed it.
He killed it. You
Clearly,
killed it.
Don't
we are
lose him.
so,
This is Karima talking, by the way.
I'm
Loved
sorry.
it.
Third string. I think that might have just moved him up to first string, perhaps, as he's, as you're clinching that national championship. So you've competed internationally before.
Yeah.
How excited are you to be able to do it again?
I'm excited. I love climbing. I love traveling. The community is great. I tell people all the time that I've learned so much by other people, other blind climbers and callers, and just people in general. So. All of that together is super amazing.
Awesome, Justin. Well, we're so excited for you. Congratulations again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can't wait to see you in the World Cup circuit, dude.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right.
And with that, we're going to get our next category started. What an exciting start to the day. Justin Proctor earning his place back on the team. Also, loving this headset interview. Not having to scramble, run downstairs. It is going to affect me getting my steps in today, but, you know, this isn't about me, so all good. Getting ready to bring out that next category. So we are moving into the MB2 category, getting our first look at Luke McGraw, his caller, his wife, Becca McGraw. Originally from Dallas, Texas, but they do some traveling these days. They actually work for Leave No Trace, so they're, you know, out doing the work for the outdoors. We need more people like them traveling around the United States as much as possible, you know, teaching people how to be conservationists and preserve our earth. I mean, we're so lucky we get to climb outside and enjoy the outdoor spaces, but if you don't take care of it, it's not going to be there forever. So thank you to Luke and Becca for doing all that they are doing to help get the word out there. He's only been climbing for 3 months, which
wow, yeah.
This is a tall order, 3 months and into nationals, but clearly has the confidence to do so, and we're really excited to see him get after it. And to note, no blindfold here in this category, the B2. There is no blindfold, only in that B1 category, so we are excited to see what Luke has in the tank.
He has a lot. I was watching him in qualifiers yesterday, plus he's hometown favorite up in here for this category. I mean, I never heard such loud cheers in all my life in qualifiers yesterday when he was on the wall. And he was topping. He was topping in qualifiers.
He definitely was.
You got this.
A little extra encouragement there from his wife, Becca.
Remember those feet, walk over to the left first. Cross it over, there you go, and then cross it over again. You got those feet on the left, right hand 12 o'clock. Once you get those feet up, you got a left hand 12 o'clock also, right there, 12 o'clock again. Yep, that's real far. You got a good left foot there. If you stick your left foot out, nice. Now cross it over again, closer to the left, so right hand 1 o'clock. And then under your crotch, you got a good foot, or step up there, nice. Cross it over, your next hand is immediately to the right of your left. Yeah, now, right hand, yep, that down, down, down. Okay, or you can do that, right there, nice. Step up big with your left foot. Yep, and then you got a right hand 12 o'clock, just above the left now. Good. Nice and slow, straight arms. Right hand, 12 o'clock, very close. Right there, perfect. Good. Now you got a right knee. So now you got a right hand, 3 o'clock, out to the side there. Good, you're gonna walk your feet over to the left. You got a left ankle. Good, okay. Now you got outside your right foot. There. Right hand, 12 o'clock. In a little bit. There you go, nice. Good, so both your hands are going to use that. You're coming up to that triangle double part with the 2 rocks, so get your left hand up, left ankle, or you can cross your feet over. Good. Left foot up higher. There you go. Nice. Left hand, 11. Nice and slow. Good. All those feet are going to be on the left, and then you got a right hand just above that. Nice. And then just above that is another. Get your feet nice and steady. Now you got that pink undercling coming up. That's your left hand undercling. Right there. That's it. Good, yeah. Now, so you got a bunch of left feet outside your left knee, and then you have a outside your right. Good. You got a right knee, and then you'll stick your up way high. Right knee up. There you go. Now, right hand 12 o'clock is that pink bar with the thing on it. Nope, down. There you go. Put both hands on that. Walk your feet over to the right now. So you have a right ankle. Put your left foot above your right ankle. Nice. Good. Outside your right knee. You got a 12 o'clock with your right hands. Good. Good. Now get outside your left thigh, get those feet up, or you got a left ankle, either way, whatever feels good. Go to right hand, 12 o'clock, the slippy bar with the rock on it. You got this. You got this, good. Outside your right ankle, you can go walk your right foot over again, and then you'll have a good step up there for that left. Nope, down, 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 there you go. Good, now pull your left foot way up high. And you got a right hand if you want to go out further. Right there. Oh, that's okay. Good job, Luke.
What a great start.
Such a great start. First competition, only 3 months in climbing, and already looking so strong. Little cruxy section there. I think there's a lot of options, and I think choosing which one you want to do is always hard. Route reading is always hit or miss in some scenarios. It's easy to think that it could be one way, and then you get up there and it feels different. I feel like that's what we were kind of seeing. Maybe something felt a little different to Luke than what Becca was seeing from the ground. So kind of have to go with intuition there, and I feel like that's what he did. He decided that he wanted to make that bump move here, whereas she was trying to get him to get his foot up.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you do have to do what feels right. Great effort. Is going to get that plus score. So he's going to walk away with a 34 plus. Great start to his career. It's really exciting to see.
I was like,
what
do you mean you just started? Do you mean competing climbing 3 months ago? Or just climbing 3 months ago? Because 34 plus, I mean, that's pretty good. And just for those tuning in, if you saw, previous climbers with blindfolds, B2 category does not have a blindfold, but they have visual impairment. So sometimes they can see color or only see a pinhole or only see peripheral. Just like Justin Salas that's walking up right now, who is probably one of the most seasoned visually impaired climbers, a professional climber with the Evolve team. And I used to sponsor him, so I got special love here.
So one thing to note in this category specifically, there are only 2 climbers. So both of these athletes will make it onto the team. But who is going to walk away with that first place finish? Talking about Justin Salas, we did mention him a little earlier. Very decorated athlete, has won this competition before. Also medals in international competition starting back in 2017 with that 2nd place in Edinburgh, and then 1st place in Innsbruck in 2018 at World Championships, and then 2nd in Briançon in 2019 at World Championships. So he's looking to get back on the team. I was talking to him yesterday. He was like, got a big birthday coming up. He's going to be 30 this year. And he was like, also World Championships are this year. I want to have a good year. So he's been really focused on training, and that's him with his caller, Matt Frederick. And actually, the first time I met them, we were climbing outside together in the park. And that was my first experience with climbing with someone that was visually impaired, and watching the 2 of them together, bouldering outside. Matt calling for Justin. Always incredible relationship there. So excited to see what Justin has in the tank here today.
Very unique, because most visually impaired climbers don't, go for bouldering, but he's just like hit all of Joe's Valley and
climbed V11.
V11, like
go to the other
literally
one.
the top visually impaired climber in the U.S.
No, right.
On the wall and outside.
You saw him quickly,
Good.
Matt telling
Feet
him
at
not to
your
step out right,
left
because
knee.
there
You
is
should
a
go to
bolt
your
hanger
right.
there, and
Yes,
we do
exactly.
not want him
Yep.
to use the
Feet
bolt
out right.
hanger, so great correction
Excellent.
there. But we're going to let Justin climb and listen
High
to
left foot.
Matt's description of what's going on this route.
Very good. You got a left-hand jug, and then a right-hand next volume. Out left, not that direction, left. There you go. Good, other left, high feet. There's a foot out left. There's feet, lots of feet out left. Yep, and then left you have an undercling. Get the good feet, good. Awesome, lots of feet out left. There you go. Yep, you've got a jib on this, find the jib, good. You can match that. Feet back across, yep, that's good. Yep. Go right hand to this next one, it's really close. Left hand across, short cross, good. Flow out right. Yes. Find the jib on it. No jib. Okay. High feet. Feet out right, too. Really good feet right. Yes. Very good. Cross left. Awesome. Good hold. Excellent. I'm in. Good. Yes, you've got less. Very good. Right hand. Find the jib. Good. Left. Yeah, so you can come in with that left foot. Come into midline. Come into midline with left foot. You've got a jug out left. It's really close. Head height. It's exactly at your head. Come in closer. There's that one. Good. You've got a foot between your legs, and there's a jib on the volume. Yes, that's it. Good. Yep. Very good. You've got another rail at the top of this volume that you're on. Good. And then you've got, this is the volume complex. Go to the next one. Left hand lower. Undercling. Good. Feet out right and left. Very good. Correct. Yeah, and then you've got your second 2. Yes, exactly. Foot out right. Yeah, that's the one. And then this is your rock handy rail. Yep. You've got another side pull directly above it, left hand. And then you're going to go to the Darth Vader. Yes. There's a jib, find it. Good. Left foot. Excellent. Crossing left. There's a jib. There. Perfect. There's feet out right as well. This is your dihedral where there's feet. Yep. There's feet out to your right. Exactly. And you get the left foot up. You're going to cross first to the left hand black volume that's on the yellow volume, if you can distinguish. Good. And then a right hand is directly above that on the same volume complex. And then you've got your little ghost above that. Doing good. Doing really good. You're in the last boulder problem right here. Yep, you've got it straight above you. And then you've got a foot. No, don't go there. That's a foot. And then that's a bolt hand. That's a bolt cover. And then you've got a foot at your right knee. Yep. Yep, ghost. Feet up. Yes, very good. Find the jib in the middle. Good. Right foot, right knee. Back step. Yes. Drop it. Right hand cross. Good. You're going to flow out to the damage control. There's a jib on it. Good. You've got a foot at your right knee. Find the jib. Good. Go to the finish on the right panel. Find your position for finish.
Nicely done. That's tough for Justin Salas, doing exactly what he planned to do here. You know, one thing I really loved about the communication between the two of them is you heard Matt often name holds by their name, like damage control, rock candy rail. So the fact that the two of them are in the gym together climbing all the time, some athletes, not everybody does this in climbing in general, but some athletes do, you know remember the shapes and who makes what hold. Yeah. Some of us are hold geeks, you know, like we know what's going on. So Matt using that to his advantage with Justin and really explaining to him not just where the hold is, but what hold he could expect because he knows it from memory, which is something that's really smart in terms of comp climbing, because it's
very unique for him because actually he has been a route setter before with Paul Robinson, top athlete.
And joining us now, Justin Salas. Amazing job on that route. Honestly, was it hard enough for you?
Oh man, it felt great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw you skip a couple screw-ons.
Skip the jib. He was like, whatever jib, I'll just vomit, whatever.
No, I mean, it was great. The route setter did a fantastic job. What I think you guys probably saw in the preview section, but we do so much preparation that by the time I come out, I have a really great idea of what I'm supposed to do. So what Matt's doing is confirming to me kind of what we talked about. And then I'm just communicating with him back and forth and getting a good idea of, everything we talked about, confirming and just confirming that these are the grips that we talked about and the path is laid out before us. So, yeah, hats off to the route setter.
And
it's awesome.
You did amazing, and I love giving the props to the route setters. Of course, like you've had some experience in that department as well, so you know what it takes to put something up on the wall like that. But I wanted to say, how excited are you knowing that you are performing to where you want to be with all those World Cups coming up?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, we've had just the biggest... the beginning of this year was a big step for me, not only for climbing, but just moving to a different city, working full-time, climbing and training full-time. So much going on, so to be here and to be performing well is really awesome and kind of setting the tone for what this year is going to bring. So really excited for the World Championship year.
Well, awesome. We cannot wait to see what you do. And congratulations again on being the Paraclimbing National Champion in the MB2 category. And we are excited to watch what you do.
Awesome.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah, couldn't do it without this guy right here.
Yeah. Congrats to both of you.
Thank you.
And with that, we will end the men's B category. And
B2 category, actually.
I don't think Connor Geary is here. Now I was in ISO, he wasn't, but I guess we should double check and see if that's happening. I hope he's here.
I saw his father.
Oh, you did? Okay, so then he should be here. I take it back then. I got the wrong information
I know he's really
earlier.
serious about sports competition. He came in as a youth climber, and I think he's about 18 now, so he's like really wants to do well.
I'm happy to hear that because I was like, wait, really? He's not here? Okay, so good. Connor Geary is here, so we will be moving forward with the male B category. Dallas, Texas. For Connor Geary, dedicated competitor, already has a lot of experience, has competed in 2 World Cups, second and third place in both of those World Cups. So Texas local.
Yeah, and one of the youngest competitors in B category as well. His caller used to be his dad and now is his best friend. According to what I was told, it has something to do with the dad thing. Because like we said, this relationship is really, really particular. And he's like, you know what? I'm really close with my best friend. I'm going to switch it up this year. And we're going to see for the first time what the results of that is going to be.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense, especially he's 18 years old, you know. Getting to that age where you want a little more independence. So to have the chance to have someone else be the caller rather than a parent, I think that makes sense. You know,
and his dad is
do what's best for you. And then also, I was talking to Amy Mullen's mom earlier, and her dad is the one who's calling because Amy's mom was like, it's too stressful. And so for the parent, it's kind of nice now because his dad can now just watch. Best friend will take over, and excited to see what Connor does. So he is the only one in this category, but I'm sure he's looking for a top here. this is preparation for the World Cups, not a lot of paraclimbing opportunities in competition. So this competition is very important, getting that experience, getting to practice this format and be prepared and confident going into the international circuit.
And he has 2 World Cups underneath his belt,
right, yeah.
so we're ready
left
for him.
hand up.
Silver and bronze in those.
Yeah. Directly up above you is going to be pink jugs. Go slowly to them because some of them are cut off.
See how he interprets this route.
On top of the volume, facing directly up, jugs. Yeah, and then there's one up into your right. Yeah, crossover. Next hold's up into your right. No, left, down. There it is. Bring your feet up. No, there's no foot holds over there. Bring your left foot up. Yeah, that works. Next hold's up into your left. Yeah, the pink hold directly above that's going to be a jug. Next is going to be up into your right a little bit. It's going to be that black one. Next up, you're going to go over to your right onto the volume. It's going to be a black dual text. Yeah. You have right foot. Yeah. Make sure to bring that left foot up. Yeah. Then you also have the yellow on top of the black. Yeah, further right. There it is. Yeah. Then there's also a hold on the left of that volume, facing up into the left. So you can bump out. Yeah. Next, black, yeah. Then yellow hold on volume. No, down left, yeah. You can bump up right hand.
So this is very unique. He's our only B3 category climber, and B3 category means the least visual impairment. Now, B2 and B3 could possibly see color or contrast, while our B1 category can see really nothing and maybe just see the difference between light and dark. Now, the visual impairment doesn't mean you can necessarily see the shape of the hold, right? But maybe you know the color of the hold. And you heard that actually again with Luke and his wife also mentioned color around this section as well. And that color difference will actually help a visually impaired color if they can see the contrast of dark and light and color on a volume. And I wonder if that was a choice that the route setters made.
That definitely was something that was talked about. I was hearing about it earlier. They made a point to, if they were going to use those black holds, to put a hold on top of it that was a color to create that contrast, because with the black it's kind of hard to see what's going on, or to use part of the vision to be able to tell the difference. So adding that pop of color was intentional. Little mishap here, went for the drop knee method and was on this next hold really well, but then I think he got into a weird position that he couldn't really get out of, especially with that knee being so close to that jug. I think didn't have enough space to unwind out of the drop knee, but great attempt there from Connor Geary. And honestly, really nice to have that first competition experience moment with his caller. Connor, can you hear that? Can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Awesome. Congratulations. We were just talking about you switching callers and this being a great time to get that experience before moving into the international competitions.
Yeah, I used to get called by my dad since I've been climbing since I was like 13, but when I started high school, I met Cannon and he started climbing at the same gym as me, so we just started training together this year, and I guess it all fell in place.
Awesome. Well, it's exciting to see you put your relationship to the test here. How excited are you for the World Cups this season?
I'm very excited, especially for the one in May.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see you there. Huge congratulations again. So excited for you and for Cannon. This is awesome, and we can't wait to see the two of you again.
Thank you so much.
Well, with that, we complete the B category of competition. We're going to go to, for the males, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a lot more climbing for you.
I can't wait.
Travel doesn't have to be this super exotic international thing. It can really be out of your own backyard. The high desert is so three-dimensional, and it's so big that there is no way you could ever see everything here. The orange and brown and yellow, it's just so endless. Whether it's something I've done before or something brand new, there's so much to explore just right here.
So yeah, we've been testing out the new catch and hold system from the TrueBlue IQ Plus. And with the IQ Plus, you're just able to stop there, rest, shake out, try to figure out the moves, and yeah, really excited to have this new device in our gym. It's going to just really help us to continue growing the sport.
Since 1966, we have viewed walls not as obstacles, but as opportunities. From the big walls of Yosemite to the high peaks of the Himalaya, we were searching for a personal kind of freedom. In this pursuit, we found a community, strengthened by different stories, experiences, and perspectives. This community has shown us that the only way forward is together.
Welcome back to the USA Climbing 2023 Paraclimbing National Championships. We are getting ready to start with the women's B category, starting with that women's B1 category. Your first look at Ravina Ali, the first competitor, the only competitor in the women's B1 today. But Karima, we've been talking a lot about how important it is to get that experience because there aren't as many paraclimbing competitions to compete in. Another look at how the classifications work, those RP categories, neurological/physical disability categories, B categories, what you're seeing now, visual impairment, the AU categories, upper amputee extremity, and we're getting the B category for the women started. So that B1, we're back to the category where you do have to wear a blindfold of sorts in order to compete in this category because it is, you said 5% or less vision, but you can be anywhere on that scale. So to make sure that everyone's on an even playing field, the blindfold is necessary.
Absolutely. And we are looking at Ravina Ali, just 16 years old, the youngest visually impaired competitor in this competition.
But still, lots of experience already, earning a bronze medal at the Salt Lake City World Cup. So
at her premiere against the world. Oh, goodness.
You know, some people just have that success really quickly, and she's one of those athletes. So
it also helps she has probably one of the longest running callers in the USA climbing history, which is Fernando, and they're out of Atlanta. Fernando has been calling for Catalyst Sports since 2014.
Wow.
So it's the first time we ever did a world championship.
Wow. So a lot of experience partnered with a lot of talent over here.
A little combination.
So we're going to let Ravina get her climb going and see what she can do on this route. So we're not able to hear exactly what Fernando's saying, and that actually might be a strategy as well. Maybe he doesn't want everybody to know your style of calling.
Kind of creative stuff. I know the feeling when you kind of create stuff and everybody want to know how you do it. You know, you can't, McDonald's doesn't give away their secret sauce, so.
Exactly. So Ravina already off to a great start, just getting some shakes in there. On that left side of your screen, you can see that QR code. If you are interested in the results of the competition thus far, we have the men's B category finished at this point. So we are just starting the women's B category, starting with that B1. And Ravina is working her way through this route. So like we were saying, one of the youngest competitors, but bronze medal in Salt Lake City. So this duo right here has already had a lot of success together.
Right. She's a junior at Atlanta Girls School. One of the things that she loves the most is spending time with family and volunteering in her community at the In-Town Ministries, which is a local food pantry. Wow. So she's climbing, she's giving back to the community. I mean, what a combination.
I love when I see kids who already have that need to want to do more. It's not something you see all the time. So every now and then there's a kid who's kind of wise beyond their years and really wants to get involved to make sure they can help out other people.
Earned an award for that. She was one of Atlanta's 20 under 20 for serving back and giving back to their communities.
Wow, that makes me feel like the future is in good hands when I hear stuff like that.
Totally. And climbing is apparently too. Look at her crutch.
Yeah, one thing to note, she's doing a really good job keeping her hips so close to the wall. Whenever you're on
a lead or on a top rope or lead route, anything that's longer, the idea is to create places of rest. The more your hips can be into the wall, the more you can keep your limbs elongated in order to get that lactic acid flowing through your body a bit better. You know, she's been taking shakes here and there, really climbing through this section smartly. But again, those hips moving so close into the wall to kind of alleviate some of the stress that she's putting on her body as she's trying to work her way up through here. And something we mentioned before, for the B category athletes, a lot of times they're having to be forced into these lock-off positions or holding one hold for a very long time in order to intentionally get to that next hold and not move too quickly, make sure they're right on it in the right spot before they decide to keep moving through it. So making sure your hips are in the wall, creating that opportunity to recover is so important.
So important. And I think that is why we call it the lock-off category. Like, I mean, I don't know anyone who can spend this much time on the overhang portion of a route without being a top athlete.
And speaking of time, they do have a 6-minute clock in this competition for all the athletes. So you see that clock on the left side of your screen. Really nice save there from Ravina, kind of missing the cross move, but able to come back down to a section where she's familiar with where the hold placements are, as Fernando is trying to communicate to her exactly what she needs to do with her feet in order to get up into that next hold. She's so close. Oh my gosh, just brushed that yellow hold. What else is really interesting too is you have to know your climber and their style, their strengths, their weaknesses. You see he's having her try to move her foot outright. She kind of had it up a little too high. Almost worked before, but he's trying to communicate to her.
And we call this scanning, and the visually impaired, we call it scanning, which means like you're moving your body around to try to find the right hold, and that also takes more energy.
It totally does. Such good fight there from Ravina. Was a little higher up on the wall and had a quick save there, back down to a comfortable position, trying to find exactly the right foot placement she needed to have in order to get up to that next move. She is going to get a score of a 33 plus, which, if I'm not mistaken, was, you know, really comparable to what the men's scores were like. There were a couple 33s in the men's B1 division, so she's clearly in a good spot if she's looking at her training. This is great prep for those international competitions that she's already had success with, but she's still new to the scene, right?
Correct.
She's had success at her first one, but the goal will be to build that consistency moving forward. So nice big smile from Ravina as she moves over, and we're going to get her on the headset soon. Really excited to have a little chat with her after that amazing performance.
The crowd is building here. I see some familiar faces. There's Mario Stanley from the show The Climb over there.
Oh yeah, look at it, it's Mario.
Know him. Don't you know him?
A little bit. Spent some time in Spain filming a cool TV show, you know.
And one of the things people don't know is that he actually works with the paraclimbers.
Yeah, which is awesome. So I think we'll be able to get Ravina here. Yes, Ravina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Amazing job out there. How did that route feel?
It felt good. That last section definitely required a lot of core strength. But it felt really good. Thank you for being out here today.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I've been dying to be at one of these competitions for a while. You know, one thing I really loved was watching you climb. You do such a great job keeping your hips into the wall, trying to make sure you're able to find those places to recover. How much work have you had to put into getting confident in those situations and making sure you're able to recover on the route like that?
Well, honestly, you know, a lot of credit needs to go. Wait, can you hear me okay? Because I hear static.
Oh, you're good. I can hear you. Keep going.
Cool. There we go. That's okay. I just wanted to make sure. A lot of the credit, obviously, my coach Fernando, has been amazing. Like, I've never seen him get frustrated ever in, like, the whole time we've been working together. So that's really helped, like, that encouragement. And being able to... I've put in a lot of work, but really it's just been kind of like a team effort, I think.
Awesome.
Great team, too.
Yeah, great team, and we're so happy to hear that. I'm so glad you have a coach and a caller that you feel confident with and that you can trust and puts you out there doing your best. And we know you have a lot to give in these competitions, and we are so happy for you. Congratulations. Can't wait to see what you do in the World Cups this year after already having so much success. Thank you again, and we're so excited for you.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations again to Ravina, and we're getting ready for the next climber to come out. We're moving into that
This is
women's
Emmeline
bead.
Lecrout. Woohoo!
The women's bead 2 classification. Emmeline Lecrout and her collar with her. Getting all set. Another para cliffhanger. We're seeing a lot of those.
Yeah, well, I got tired, and I said yes to a bunch of grants that went to Paraclimbing so I could sponsor a bunch of athletes. But Emmeline actually climbs in my weekly sessions in New York City, and she started actually climbing in our program, and I was like, you know, you should probably compete. And she actually originally is from Texas.
Oh, look at that.
So her whole family is here to see her climb and compete in this competition today.
That's so exciting. Always great when you can have family out there. So Emmeline right now talking to the belayers, making sure everything is set with her collar. Alana Taub. So we're going to have to see what their communication process is like. Hopefully we get a mic on Alana. If not, we're going to get to watch them in action together, just getting started, letting Emmeline figure out where all of those holds are at the start so you can touch those holds before you get on the wall, before your attempt actually starts. All of these climbers only have one attempt. They haven't had any practice on this route. They did come out earlier with their collar and kind of had their preview of the route together. But other than that, they don't know anything else about the route in terms of how it feels or anything. So this is her first time on it, and we're excited to watch Emmeline get going here.
Left hand, left 2, up 12.
Looks like we're going to hear Alana, so we're going to let's listen to her and watch how it goes.
Good. Right hand, right 4, up 12. Right foot, left 2, up 6. Good, that's the jug. Right hand can also go right 4 if you want. Left hand can go your right hand, up 8. Left 2. Good. Right hand, right 4. Okay, down, good. From your left 1, up 1. From your left hand, right 1, up 1. From your right hand, right 1, up 1. Right hand's gonna go right 4, up 10. So jug, down 6. Good. Left hand, right 2, up 2. You got it, breathe. Nice, left hand's gonna go straight up 16. So left foot, knee height. Step on that really big one. Good. Left hand straight up 16. You got it, breathe. Good. Left hand straight up 6. Match your hands, take a break, breathe. You got this. Match your hands where your right hand is. Good. Now you're traversing up to your right, going up to the baseball diamonds. From your right hand's going to go right 2, up 6. All right, put your left hand where your right hand is. Right hand's going to go right 16, up 6. Right 6, right 6, right 6. Good. Right foot, knee height, but down 10. Right foot, go knee height, but down 4. Right 6, up. Okay, right foot up. Good. Breathe. You got it. Right hand matching. Good. Right hand going to go right 2, up 4. So right hand side pull. Left hand, left 2, up 12. This is a really big dual text, left, good. You're gonna match, or your left hand is gonna go left 6, up 4. Left foot knee height, but left 6, good. Left hand same height, but left 4. Left hand bumps left. Right foot up by your right knee. Left hand, left 4, up 8, or up 10, good. Left foot, left hip height, but left 8, stepping on your thigh, good. Right hand, this comes across onto the pyramid. So you're gonna go from your left hand straight up 6. It's a right hand crossing up. Breathe, you got it. Bump again. So right hand's gonna go up 6, left 2. Right foot, right hip height. Put your right hand back down. That's the hold. Press off your left foot. Right foot goes up. Good. Right hand up 6, left 2. Here comes the side pull. Left hand from your right. Left 6, up 4. Left foot knee height, but left 8. Good. Match your hands. Breathe where your left hand is. Matching your feet. Left hand's gonna go left 8, up 6 to this jug. That's the hold. Good. Right foot down 4. Good. Switch your feet. From your right foot, you have one right by your right knee. Here comes your right hand large ledge. From your hand, you're going out right 14, up 10. This is a really large ledge. You have a yellow hold on it. Match your feet. Right foot can go knee height, but right 10. Right 4, down 1. Either of those are on. Obviously, that one works. Yep. You go to the right a half, you have another better hold. Right there. Yep. Breathe. You got it down. Yes, perfect. Match your hands. This is the traverse from bottom left to top right. Left hand crosses over. Up 2. Good. Right foot knee height, but right 10. Right hand even higher. Good. Breathe. Right foot, right 4. Right 4. Right hand, match your hands. Right hand is going to bump out right 16, up 4. You got it. Breathe. Good. Right hand out. Good. Perfect. Left foot, left knee height. Right foot, big feet on the right. Right foot, knee height, but right 10. Down 4, down 4, down 4. Good. Match your hands. Right foot, knee height, but right 10. Breathe. From your right hand needs to go right 2, up 16. So that's where you're going to be a left hand cross. So move your feet over to your right. Right foot, right 6, down 4. Good. Match your hands. Your right hand is. Left hand crosses up to your right, to your right, to your right. Right 6, right 6. Good. Right there. Right foot, knee height, but straight up 2. Step up. up 2, good, match your feet. This is the hold out right that we got in trouble for, so stand up on your right foot knee height, but right 6, right hand's going right 16, up 12. You got it, right foot knee height, so right foot right 6, up 6, breathe, you got it, right foot up, or drop your foot straight up to your right, good, left foot knee height, but left 6, left foot knee height, but left 6, left hand's going straight up 16, this is going to be a small crimp, you got it, right foot, yep, good, left hand straight up 12, right hand crosses over, from your left hand, your left hand's going left, good, cross over there, good, stand right there, right foot in by your heel, down 2, right by your right ankle, good, you're crossing over from your left, you're going to go left 6, this is the rail, so left hand's going left 6, down by your left elbow, good, breathe up a little higher, so it's straight left 2, good, match your hands there, left foot, left 4, up 4, good, come on, you got this, breathe, yep, for your feet, you're going to switch your feet, right foot goes to your left, left hand is going to go, this is the big move up, so left hand's going to go left 4, up 18. You have feet where your left foot is, or left foot knee height, but left 16. Good, you got this, good, left foot, knee height, but left 6, down 4, good. Left hand straight up, you're going to crimps, good, right there. Left hand straight up, left 2.
Oh, wow, so close.
I'm sorry, but that was so...
I could see.
That was so exciting watching the conversation between, or the calling from Alana. It was so quick, so specific, so many abbreviations.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I was like, wow.
They've come such a long way. I've seen them from the beginning until the last year World Cup circuit, which, you know, she crushed it. And she has so many, she's actually an athlete in general. So this is like her newest sport, okay? She is a crusher.
I think that cross that we saw Emmeline do right before that left hold she's on the cross to that was really impressive. And then I really liked, I think it was here where Alana described to her, this is the hold that we had a mistake on before. So it was like a reference to something past, so you kind of know what you're going to a little bit better. So close, just kind of to the right a little bit of that little screw on there. Wow, amazing climbing by Emmeline Lecroux. So there is another competitor to come. Now Emmeline with a score of 43 plus puts her in a great position. Would have put her in a great position in the men's category of B3, B2 as well, which I think it's really cool to, you know, go back and forth between those routes and see how the women would have done since they're on the same route. I love that. I love that too. That chance to be on the same route as the men.
Who's stronger today?
Yeah, just a little extra competition there. So now we have Sunita Bandara coming out here to look at the route for the first time.
So this is a Salt Lake City local. I believe that Sunita was inspired. Now that the Paraclimbing World Cups for the last 2 cups have actually taken place in Salt Lake City, now we're starting to see some Salt Lake City talent come through.
Love that. And hopefully after people see this, if you're watching at home and you didn't realize paraclimbing existed and this could be the sport for you, please come out and compete, sign up, start to climb, because really exciting stuff is happening, and 124 athletes registered for this competition.
Most we've ever had.
Exactly. So we want more, though. We're not going to stop with that. We want more.
That's
so
too small.
If
we have
you
too
are
many
a
categories to fill. Let's go.
Exactly. If you're a para-athlete and you're looking for a new sport and climbing looks like fun to you, please come out, because we would love to have you here. This sport's amazing. Obviously, we're biased.
Just a little bit.
The more the merrier. We would love to have more. So Sunita taking a little bit of time to, you know, reflect on what her and her caller discussed before.
And she's hyped. You can't tell her nothing.
Very hyped. Not sure we're going to get a mic on the caller. We'll have to wait and see. If we can't, then we'll talk you through it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you know, Sunita is new to this comp experience, but she's not new to climbing, so she is a climber. That much I heard in the background. I don't have a lot on her, but the relationship we talked about is very unique between the caller and the climber, and so this is a regular climbing partner.
Exactly, and that makes sense, right? You want somebody who knows your styles, your strengths, your weaknesses, can call in a way to you that makes sense to you. So y'all are on the same page, you're speaking the same language kind of thing. But I do think especially in regard to what someone's good at, what someone struggles with, when you're going to need to make sure they are confident or in a certain position on a move. Like, all of that is so important. So making sure you have that relationship in choosing a caller is very vital.
And for those who are just tuning in, just to explain the categories a little bit more, we're now looking at the women's B2 category, and the categories of impairment in the category is how it's rated. So B3 being the least amount of impairment to the vision, B2 being that middle ground, and B1 being completely blind or 5% or left field of vision. And here she is in the B2 category and looking really great going in here. I have to say, looking strong, looking confident. And, you know, I hope that, you know, one day we'll see a lot more folks in the B category competing going forward.
Yeah, that would be really exciting. I think over the years it's already grown a lot, but we always want more. Always want more. So, Sunita
There's that tricky cross coming up. Let's see how she deals with that.
And again, this is one of those positions where every athlete has different skill sets. So the cross might be set up different for her than it was for Emmeline, depending on how they climb and their styles. She's not even going to cross here. She's just going to bump with her right hand. So a great example of, you know, different route reading and choosing to do something different for the for what your strengths are. And yeah, and different colors. And that's the other thing. It's not just how someone might climb on the route, it's also how the caller is receiving the route and what they're receiving the sequence to be. So that bump move could be different there instead of the cross because her caller received the route a little differently.
And also, you know, you have to know your climber in order to be really successful. And it looks like he does because she is moving.
I've also noticed her breathing is so on point right now. She's doing a really good job of taking those deep breaths, the deep inhale, exhale. Right now, choosing to kind of use a little bit of like an arm bar there in order to take some of the pressure off of her fingers, give herself a second to alleviate the stress. And she's taking really good shakes as well, I've noticed, which will serve her well. And getting very close so far to the top here, about a third of the way left, maybe a quarter of the way left on this route. Yeah, I'm using more heels than I've seen actually early on in the route. So you can tell she's comfortable in a heel hook.
Exactly.
Or sitting on a heel. Big shakes again, kind of that up and down motion, really trying to get that lactic acid flowing. This is definitely an area you'll get really pumped. Because, you know, sometimes with the camera angles, you can't really see the gradient of how the wall is coming overhanging. And right here, now she's kind of reaching that final stretch. She's got like one or two bouldering routes to go in here. Yeah, it's bouldering routes basically. I love that. Take a look at the top left of your screen. You see that clock? Just over 2 minutes left. So time seeming to not be such an issue for her here. There is a 6-minute clock, so you want to be able to get through the route within 6 minutes. Otherwise, you do have to come down. So she's in a great place time-wise to finish the route if she has enough energy left to do it. She does still look quite fresh. These walls are tall too. I think only thing that could beat her right now is time, maybe, at this point. Like, highly unlikely though. I feel like she has plenty of it.
Oh yeah. She's coming in the last few moves here. This determines a lot. Will she get the first top of this route?
For the women?
Yeah, for the women.
We did see a top by Justin Salas earlier.
The only top.
Also in the B2 category.
Yeah.
For the men. She's
there
got
you
one.
go.
She just has to control it. All you need is the one hand. But had to get that control, and she is psyched. That was awesome climbing from Sunita.
So clean, so smooth.
Very, very clean and smooth.
So
just
just something
like
for people to know. So we're on our second top in this climbing competition in this session, and something you need to know that's very different from the able-bodied competitions is that you only need one-hand control in paraclimbing.
Yeah, but it was important for her because you see right here she kind of gets on it, but that's not really the most controlled position until she kind of regrips there. She didn't have to match; she had already had it when she regripped. But when she first hit it, she did need to regrip because that wasn't control
yet.
But you do, like you said, only need the one hand, and she is amped. I love her energy.
Yeah,
bopping to the music. Super psyched, and we can't wait to hear from her. We're going to get a headset on her momentarily so we can congratulate her and see how psyched she is. Hey, Sunita, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know where you are, but I can hear you.
We're way up here. Don't worry about us. But we just loved watching you crush that route. How did it feel? You had such a good flow. I loved the breathing, taking some time to rest. Tell me about it.
I mean, this is my first competition, but I've been climbing for a while. And so it's been interesting just trying to keep myself calm and in the Zen zone today. I definitely thought that was going to be the hardest part going into this route today, but it was just keeping it cool and pretending I was just climbing another route outside.
Well, you had us fooled. You look cool as a cucumber up there.
Totally.
So this is your first competition. You're walking away with a national championship title. You're gonna. You didn't
Oh wait,
know?
you didn't know?
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
you're just having fun climbing, and that's what you're supposed to be doing.
You heard it here first. You are the national champion in the women's B2 category, which means you'll get to compete in the World Cup. So how
In your
excited
home
are
city.
Yeah,
In my home city.
How excited are you?
I'm super stoked. I mean, like I said, I've been climbing for a while, but I never. It's crazy to be able to kind of see the sport in a different way and meet all the incredible people that are here in the adaptive community. So I'm just really excited to see them again in Salt Lake.
Well, awesome. We're excited to see what comes next for you, and congratulations again, and we're wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Really exciting stuff there from Sunita. First competition, national champion. Wow. And she didn't even know. That was the best part.
Yeah.
So we are now moving into our women's B3 classification. So this is Ellie Kinnear, also a newcomer to climbing. She is very excited. I got to talk to her a little bit last night, and really fun to talk to. So cool to have people come in and find climbing just recently and get to come to this competition. So I'm excited to see her climb. Her caller is Sarah Beth George. And we've got an extra helper down there. I did not get the name of the poodle yet because we were unsure if he was going to be able to come out here. So I wish I had definite shout out to that adorable poodle. I'm a fan of the poodle, but that's just me.
Well, it seems like she's the kind of person that just throws herself into anything.
Totally.
Because actually, she said what her biggest accomplishment of 2022 was becoming enrichment area leader at Enchanted Hills Camp for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Yeah, running the theater and music program. I guess she'd been wanting to do that for a really long time. So really exciting that she was able to make that happen. And I'm going to guess that making finals at Nationals for her first Nationals is also going to be high up on her list for 2023.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to see if she ends up making that team, because that could also change. Then maybe high on her list would be competing in the World Cups, but we're going to have to see what she can do on this route. So Ellie Kinnear will be getting ready to climb soon, just running through it with her caller, Sarah Beth. Super psyched already. Has the crowd psyched, but now we're going to have to get quiet so we can have the communication between Ellie and Sarah Beth.
Okay. Ready when you are. I got you. All right. Yep, very nice. Hands up. Yep. Very good, Ellie. Remember your feet. Oh, you good? Nice. Oh, nice reach. All right, you got a right foot there. Yep, left hand. All right. You got knee height, left foot. There you go. There you go. And then I think you can get your left hand there. That next pink hold is not a great one. Move your right foot up. Yep. And then you can touch that pink hold, but don't hold it. Oh, nice. You skipped it. Good job. All right. Nice cross. Oh, beautiful, Ellie. Really nice. Oh, you're doing good. I'm cheering for you. That's all you need. There you go. You got it. There. Nice feet. Awesome, Ellie. All right. Get that foot secure. And, yep, right hand up. I think he matches on that. Or, yep, really nice. Awesome. And then I would move your right hand over. Yep, you got a right foot. When you're ready, there you go. And then if you can put your weight onto your right foot, take your time. I'm not rushing you. Yep. And then you can reach over the top of that shiny one. There's like a yellow chip on it. You can also get your left foot higher if that's going to help you. Push. And then get up there. Yep, I think he might have matched on that too. And you also have a right foot. You can get your right foot a little higher if that feels good. Yep, that's a nice one too. And then you might be able to get your... Oh, beautiful, Ellie. You're doing great. Awesome. All right, you can move your right foot up. Keep going. Just keep going. Push, push, push. You got this. Right. You got it. You got it. You got it, Ellie.
Great save there.
Just take a sec. Take a sec. Straight arms. Breathe. Breathe. Good job. You're doing beautifully. Right hand onto that yellow. Can you get your right hand on there? Yeah, nice.
Really great fight from Ellie Kinnear. So
I like her caller style. Like,
I
hey,
do too.
I can, like, she can tell that she's like tense or needs
and she's calming her
encouragement
down.
to hold on.
She's like, you're good. I got you.
Yeah.
You're doing great. I like that added encouragement. I think that's super helpful. So one thing to note, Ellie did have control of those higher holds and came back down, so she's not going to lose points for that. She gets the highest hold she controlled, but she will not likely get the plus. We'll have to see what happens there because she kind of fell down, and looking at the scores, I don't think so. So you see she was able to get up in here, and I loved when she did that. Her caller, Sarah Beth, was like, beautiful, great move there. Didn't feel quite great after, so she came back down to kind of rest for a second. So she'll get that 22. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, in that panic moment, sometimes you can make rash decisions, but going back down to her rest is always smart. So she'll get that 22, but no plus because she didn't make positive momentum to the next hold, but does get the highest hold she controlled as her score. So
yeah.
Another
well,
lift
I think
of
she
that
did. Yeah, I think
cute
she
pup.
did. Look at the good poodle. She says that she loves to like cuddle her guide dog while doing college assignments. So.
Which is so, and it makes it even better that she was allowed to bring the little pup out here for that extra support. You know,
yeah,
I think it's important. So
pet therapy.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. Great job there by Ellie Kinnear. First competition again, huge competition to come to. You know, hopefully in the future there are more paraclimbing competitions to prep people for nationals. But right now, if you want to do one, nationals is your first one, and then you hope to get on the team. But well, yeah, how is that going actually? Do you know much about if possible local competitions will start happening?
There's some talks. There's some talks about tacking it onto the collegiate season
that would be
next
amazing.
year. So there could be more regionals, more divisionals, get people's feet wet before making the big trip across the country and the investment into doing one comp and then going straight into World Cups. And it's really exciting to see just how much love and community, and all we want to do is just create some more.
Yeah, and you just saw a bit of that, Ellie getting a big hug from a friend, probably a fellow athlete. This community is so inclusive and warm, the climbing community. I mean, I've always felt that way, at least, that it's a lot of people who we all share this one passion of being lovers of climbing and lovers of movement, and that's what we're all here for. So up next we have Mandy Curtis walking out here, getting ready for her attempt. Laura Paranacci is her caller.
Mandy is from out of the Boston, Massachusetts greater area, a seasoned paraclimber on the circuit, out of the Central Rock Gym adaptive team, and also a constant seen on my ACG Massachusetts weekly chapter sessions. Playing favorites again. Yes, I am. I'm objective and favorites at the same time.
Yeah, she has international experience, having competed at the 2018 World Championships. She was 7th there, so looking to get back on the team so she has more opportunities to compete internationally. That's always the goal. If you've done it once, you want to do it again. She's competed in 4 Paraclimbing Nationals, and she also competed in the women's B2 category for 4 years. So now she's moved into B3.
And just to let you know, if you see someone switch categories, it doesn't mean like necessarily that their impairment changed. It's actually the classifications that's changed. So because this sport has a chance to become a Paralympic sport, which will be decided before the end of the year, we have been adopting the International Paralympic Committee rules of classification and making adjustments to the sport. And so originally B2, you know, and now moving into this category due to the classification changes of the qualification to be in the category.
Exactly, and we are not going to be able to hear her caller, so we're going to walk you through everything that Mandy is doing on this route. She's already off to a really quick start. Remember that clock in the top. Yeah, the clock in the top left of your screen starts at 6 minutes, so she's already many minutes in and not even to 30 seconds as she works her way through these opening moves of the route. Now, this route, you definitely notice the opening section not too difficult, kind of a nice start, and then builds. They're adding holds with screw-ons, and there's more volumes as you get higher, so the beta gets a little more intricate. I feel like there's a few more options. You see her kind of waving her foot on that bolt hole cover, so really nice that the bolt holes are covered. Maybe not all of them, but most of them are, because
it wasn't last year.
Exactly, and it can be an issue because climbers are not allowed to use the bolt hole. That would call them off of the route, so having it covered allows you to move freely through, especially for the B category. You are scanning, as you said earlier, Karima, the way in which you kind of search for holds as the caller is describing them to you. So easy to kind of run over a bolt hanger. So having them covered here is very important.
Super important. And it's something, because, this sport is evolving. So, originally the able-bodied rules just immediately transferred over to paraclimbing. Then as we go on, we realize, oh, wait, we're taking climbers with prosthetics and who are visually impaired down off of climbs because they step on bolts they can't see or feel. And so then they're like, oh, wait, we need to put bolt covers in the routes. It's a learning process.
Well, we're getting there. You just saw the score flashed moments ago. Now you can go to that QR code to find it. 22 scored holds is the hold to beat. I believe she is already up past that. We don't have live tracking of her score, but looks like she's in a good spot. Now this cross move we've seen done a few times by other athletes in other categories of the B classification. We also saw Sunita do a bump move here, so we'll have to see what way Mandy and Laura decide to approach this move. Looks like we're going to go with a bump. Seems like the more solid and controlled way to do it. The cross can make the athletes in kind of a more elongated position, which if they bump their feet up, not so bad, but a lot of them were doing that cross with the feet a little low. So I think hiking the feet up, doing the bump there might be a more secure method.
It also might be a visual impairment thing, feeling more secure with certain body parts.
Totally.
And then, because crossing it, remember, you're like guessing where it is.
Yeah,
you might not really see it depending on your visual impairment. Maybe you can't see the color, maybe you can't, and so trying to kind of have lock off but also mobility at the same time.
Very good point there. And into another quick cross.
Oh, unfortunate
so
slip.
Close to, yeah.
Just
very
a slip.
Close
It was
save
clearly
there.
a slip, yeah.
And that hold specifically being blocked, making it really important to have the right accuracy. So moving a little too fast there made it difficult to have that accuracy. Really great effort. Setting the bar there, Mandy Curtis should have the new high point. And a pretty deep field. We've got 4 athletes in this field. Another look at this cross here. Nice body position, good flag. But because it's blocked, you kind of have to hit it perfectly. And she hit it pretty good on the right side, but then tried to come in on the left. Wasn't able to make it happen, but great effort. She's going to walk away with a score of 40 plus. Obviously
score.
had that extra movement.
Yeah.
Wonderful score.
Yeah.
With the crowd, she's going to be happy with that.
She's a crowd favorite.
She is a crowd favorite, and knowing that they're behind her and psyched that she got so far in the route will probably make her feel great as she watches the next 2 climbers in her category. Remember, only 3 make the team, so this is a category where we have 4. So it's a little more competitive in this category, knowing that one person is not going to make it onto that World Cup team.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really spicy category, I have to tell you, because
Tell us.
I'll tell you why it's spicy, okay? So I'm trying not to play favorites, but I have to say, there's a couple of long-running competitive athletes in this category, right? And then the fact that Mandy got moved to this category just this past season.
Oh, it was that? I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah, it's recent. It's not, because the rules have changed just coming out of the pandemic into 2021 is when the rules started to change for us.
Wow. Getting our first look at Amy Mullins, and she will have her dad, Bob Mullins, calling for her. Another fan favorite, longtime competitor. I think she's competed in every Paraclimbing Nationals except for in 2021. Lots of experience, competed at 2016 Paraclimbing World Championships. I think that's the first place I met her, actually.
Yeah, and just 24 years old. She's just 24 now. I don't know where we met.
I honestly maybe think that was the
Utah.
That might have been the first time we actually talked, though. I think we knew of each other. But 2016 and able-bodied world championships.
In Atlanta.
No, Paris.
Oh, Paris. Oh, the World Championships.
Yeah.
Yes, in Paris. Yeah, that's right. That was the last year I think I was registered as a competitor.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
There we go. Problem solved.
Yeah, there you go. Child, I don't know when I met you. You just felt like
Seems
home.
like
I don't remember.
Amy and Bob taking a few
Let me tell you,
minutes to
what's
converse.
so interesting about Amy before we like get all mic'd up on this? Amy started as a youth competitor.
Yes.
And then she also started in a totally different category when she went into open because she has cerebral palsy, which also caused visual impairment. So first, she was in the RP category. And then she switched to visual impairment category as her vision changed, and she realized that, this is like the best category for her. So she's actually has been competing in so many different facets of this competition more than anybody else.
Yeah, that is a lot of moving around for sure. But like you said, she's been doing this for a long time, so she is used to going with the flow, and she will climb in whatever classification they put her in, and she's just going to get out there and crush and have fun. So we will not be able to hear Bob. You can see him down below talking. Also, ooh, this is smart, bringing belay glasses. I don't know if those are actually the Belaygle brand, but I just realized, whoops. But that'll give him a chance to be able to look at the holds and not have to crane his neck in order to see them all, so he can call from a more comfortable position.
Definitely.
Especially in your neck region. And if anyone's climbed and belayed or even had experience calling for a visually impaired climber, it's a lot on the neck to be looking up like that. So really smart move there to bring belay glasses in order to help call as efficiently as possible for Amy. So Amy already making good work of this route, looking really confident moving to each hold with a lot of intention and making sure she's in a controlled stance before she moves to the handhold. That's really important, especially in this section coming up. I feel like this is a section that so far we've seen a lot of the athletes start to have trouble figuring out exactly what they want to do, kind of the most difficult section, the crux, as you would call it in climbing. That's a climbing term for us.
Yeah, and also note the time on the clock. She's moving fast.
She is moving fast. Only a minute in and basically halfway up the wall. Say a couple more moves to be exactly halfway up the wall. Nice look at how tall this route is, and here is where that angle change is happening. Also, to add to the angle change, you have the volumes, which can create more steepness or more vertical. I think right here it gives it a little bit more of a vertical angle, but then she's going to move right up into more steep as she just casually works her way up this route, by the way.
One of the things I like about her is that she's actually just a champion of people with disabilities in general. She actually loves just making apps or websites and learning about web accessibility, just making things more accessible for other folks her age.
Yeah, which is so huge. And like you said, only 24 years old, still very young, and to have the wherewithal to want to do all of that, in addition to being such a dominant force in this sport. I don't know how she has all the time.
Let's see how Dad's going to talk her through this one.
Taking a second to chalk. Honestly, haven't seen as many athletes chalk up as much on this route thus far.
Well, it's humid in Texas.
It is super humid here. So really smart to take that time. So she made that cross. That's where we saw Mandy kind of fumble a bit.
Come this way.
Choosing to move out left.
Please note that she's working with two different disabilities here. She has cerebral palsy and she's visually impaired. So trying to, coordinate the intention of movement, is very interesting. Not being able to elongate your body the same way as the other climbers in the category.
Such a good point. Just kind of scanning for that foot, able to do it right into a beautiful drop knee there. Very, very nice. Using every inch of her reach in order to get up to that right hand. Now she just has to keep bringing her feet up. You can see the technical prowess that Amy really has articulated through her climbing here.
And you don't see a lot of words coming out of the caller's mouth. They must be in sync. I have to admit, this family has a great relationship. Like, I know what's going on here.
Exactly. Really nicely into that pinch. First time we've seen a woman in this part of the B category up this high on the route. So the score to beat was that 40 plus from Mandy Curtis, and Amy is already past that, but it looks like she is looking to get a top here. We did see this route topped earlier in the B2 category, but now we are in B3. So this would be our first top if she can make it happen. She does look like she's in a good position energy-wise. She looks pretty fresh still. Nicely done. Really getting stretched out again. We've kind of seen her a couple times on this route kind of in body positions where she's fingertip to toe point, basically, kind of starfished in a way.
And
after
I want
she
to
does
notice.
a drop
I want you
knee.
to also notice on the left how flat her foot is, because it has to be. You know, like, because in cerebral palsy you tend to have like what we call hemiplegia, where you're like weaker on one side or, you know, stronger on the left, and you can actually note the difference in how she approaches climbing,
Each movement.
right, and how she has to be small because she cannot elongate.
And getting really close to the top here. Note 35 seconds left on the clock. Remember, she just needs control with one hand, but really needs to be in a controlled position in order to get the top.
Nice move.
Really nicely up
And
to
she's
it.
done it.
That's
She's
it
done it.
right there. She has
Nice
the
little
top.
flag finish there.
I did like that back flag. She didn't need to match, but decided to match anyway.
Yes.
Amy's going to be really pleased with that. A top on the B3 women's route. Now we do still have another climber to come, but so exciting to get a top there. Everybody's excited for Amy. Again, she's been in this sport for so long, since a youth competitor, and in the paraclimbing competitions for many, many years.
And she won last year,
And she
actually.
won last year.
And she put herself in a good place to possibly, but we have one more climber in this category to come, and so a newer
Nice smile
climber,
there from Amy.
Well-deserved
She's like,
smile.
yes.
Well-deserved
Some head
smile.
nods. Really exciting. Dad Bob behind her. Excellent calling from him. And I'm sure her mom's relieved. And if that next athlete tops, there will be a tie. And if that happens, it will be going to time. So there was about 30 seconds left on the clock. So
Yeah. That should be interesting.
the next climber will have to move a little, or there's actually a lot of room. The next climber won't have as much pressure because 30 seconds, around 30 seconds, we're going to get that real number for you soon. Left on the clock is plenty of time and makes it so there isn't as much pressure. But at the end of the day, the next climber doesn't know exactly what they have to do. They're just going to climb
They're
and
just
try
gonna
to
climb,
do
and then they come down,
what
they're
they
like, what?
can do. So exactly.
We saw that with Sunita.
She didn't even know she won.
She's like, oh, that happened.
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
cool. I think there's like I think when you're off the wall, you know, that high, that adrenaline you get from the climb, and you're just taking in the climb. So you're not, even if they, I saw that happen a couple of times. People were announced that they won, and they didn't even notice it because they were just like still in the high of the climb and just walking off the stage.
Totally. So we're getting our first look at our final competitor in the women's B3 category, Phoebe Barkan. That is how you pronounce her name. I love she wrote it phonetically
Yes,
in our
thank you.
survey.
Appreciate it.
I ran up to her earlier and I was like, thank you for doing that. I love when someone does that. And she will be called by Jacob McNeil, her husband. So another close relationship between caller and
Oh,
athlete.
look at that little kiss on the cheek. Aww.
Yeah, really great. So coming out last, always a little more of a high pressure situation because you have that highest seed coming in and that pressure. And honestly, the crowd went wild when Amy got to the top. So there's a chance that Phoebe has an idea that perhaps there was a top. So she's going to be looking to not just do her best, but hopefully match the best of Amy Mullins. And we do have a guest in the booth, really excited. Second place finisher at the national team trials a couple days ago, and Olympian Kyra Condi, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Super excited.
Thanks for coming.
We're so happy that you're here today.
Be in the booth again, yeah.
Yeah.
We love you in the booth. We're your
three of
booth
us here
babes.
together is a problem.
So what do you think of the competition so far? It's turning out to be really high level and competitive. I feel like this category specifically a lot on the line with there only being 3 spots.
Yeah, and having to top a route is always really stressful. So, and there does seem to be that really cruxy section around the yellow volume and the overhang that a lot of the men had trouble with. And so definitely makes for some nail-biting action.
And it is really cool. We were talking about this earlier, how the men and the women are on the same route. So watching the comparison between the two, I think is pretty cool because we don't get to see that in sports all the time. Sometimes in competitions they'll give, you know, just one boulder the same for the genders, or never a route though. So in paraclimbing, the fact that they're on the same route, it's cool to see that comparison.
Yeah, it is really cool. And this does seem like a really awesome route too. It's challenging in a lot of cool ways.
I agree. And like you were saying moments ago, this section coming up is where we're seeing a lot of the athletes kind of start to struggle. It's not necessarily struggle, but I think there's a lot of options beta-wise, and it just depends on
Body
exactly
type,
what
style,
and what the caller has decided to kind of communicate here.
Yeah, a lot of the men we saw go first weren't putting their foot on this big pink hold that her foot's on now, and that, I think, made a really big difference through that section, but she just cruised it.
She really did. She didn't even use that screw-on hold. So we're going to see if we can pick up any of what her husband Jacob is saying. So we're going to be quiet for a second and see if we can hear what he's telling her.
All right, now you're going to start moving a little bit more left. There you go. You got it. You got it. No worries. Remember to take some time to breathe. If you get a rest point, you feel good. Probably a little bit higher. Yep. Beautiful. Yep. Looking good. You got this. Remember to breathe. Take a rest if you got a good spot. Shake it out. Yep. Now I'm pretty sure up top black there's going to be some. Yep. Nice. You're looking really, really solid.
I'm liking the Cali style call vibe.
Right. It is very
He's like,
chill.
just take a breath.
Yeah,
chill,
especially just very surprising
So
fall
I
there.
did not see that happen. She's looking super confident.
She was
riding
looking
through
so
that route.
smooth. I really
That
liked
means
how
something
he
different for Mandy and Amy right now. What's the final score? I can't wait to see this.
I liked how he kept telling her, if you feel it, take a rest.
Oh gosh, Amy won.
Amy is our winner. We don't see her on
her new
camera right now,
category, too.
but Mandy is excited too.
Mandy won?
No,
Is it Mandy?
Amy won.
Amy won,
no,
right?
we just didn't see Amy on camera.
Oh,
We saw
I
Mandy
see.
on camera.
Okay.
Mandy will be in that top three, so she'll get to do the World Cups, but Amy is the national champion, and we're excited to get a chance to talk to her. We're going to get a headset on her in a second.
That's super exciting for Amy. She's been crushing it for a super long time. And she's somebody who actually could qualify for multiple different para categories. And I was talking to her parents, and her dad is her caller. And the main reason that she's in B3 is that she does need that caller. And so
exactly,
that was the best category for her to be in.
And we have Amy here. Amy, can you hear us? I think she can hear us. Amy, congratulations. We're so excited. Another national championships. How happy are you? Are you able to hear us, Amy? We're so excited for you to be the national champion again.
Yeah.
Are you so excited to be the national champion again? Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see you in the World Cups later. Congratulations. Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. Wow. Awesome to see Amy back on the team. She's had a lot of World Cup experience, so gonna have to see what she can do this year. Hasn't had a podium finish yet, but looking like she's in really great shape, so hopefully she can make it happen this year.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more climbing coming up.
Yeah.
Whether you're alpine climbing or cragging after work, Gnarly Nutrition is here to help you push your possible.
Welcome back to the USA Climbing 2023 Paraclimbing National Championships. We just finished the B categories for both the men and the women, so we will not see anyone on route number 1. We're going to go now to route number 2 and 4 and get into some new classifications climbing. So we'll have 2 people climbing now, and now people will be cheering in the audience. We won't have silence. That's just for those B categories so they can communicate with their callers. Another look at those classifications, a better explanation. If you're a little confused, don't worry. It'll all be explained. I think also once we get more of the athletes on the wall, you'll kind of understand how these classifications make sense with what's going on with the climbing. So really excited to see some new routes.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about these routes.
Yeah,
you know, it's interesting. I think because we talked about B1 category being the lock-off category, like the endurance lock-off communication category. But now we're heading into the RP category, and this is actually probably the most complicated category to actually classify because it's so many different disabilities fall into this category, and it's measured very interesting. This is specifically on mobility, while the previous categories was on visual impairment.
Yeah, and this also makes setting really difficult because some people have more trouble with their left side versus more trouble with their right side or their feet or their hands, and so...
Or different affected limbs.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the RP category that we're going to see today, RP1 being the most severe mobility, meaning that you have to have 3 or more limbs affected in climbing based on your diagnosis of disability. RP2 is 2, and then RP3 is 1 minimal. And then there's also like all these points of measuring strength and weakness. We have medical professionals that come in, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and doctors who actually go through this process a couple of days before competition to find out what category they're going to be in.
And, you know, I was hearing that process can be obviously having to come in right before competition a little stressful in that way, but also it's not a comfortable process. Like, you're getting your body kind of manhandled in a way to make sure, because they're testing mobilities and whatnot, and so they're being very specific, and it can be quite uncomfortable for the athletes.
And actually, some of these folks don't know their final category until after they've climbed the qualifiers, because you can still, because they could say the classifiers say, well, in the room we're wrong, but then we saw them climb and now it's different. Now we got our first competitors coming up. This is RP3. Molly Ferris, sorry, I'm playing favorites here. Okay, Adaptive Climbing Group Chicago.
Molly's been around for forever.
Yeah, for a really long time.
She used to be one of my program leaders too. And then she actually left competition for a while, and here she's coming back 3 years later. And then on the other route, in RP1 Women's, is the youngest competitor in this category, Miss Hannah Zook, who did her first World Cup circuit last year. And I got to travel with her and see how much she's grown. This young lady has grown.
Both athletes moving into their climbs pretty quickly.
And I did hear some nerves around this green and white climb that we see Molly on. It looks really challenging, and it goes through that overhanging section, which all of the climbs yesterday, none of them were that overhanging. And so we're going to see some people's strengths and weaknesses, I think, really come out on this route because of that overhang that we didn't get to see tested yesterday.
And when you say nerves, do you mean nerves from, you know, family members and friends that were looking at this, thinking about the people that are going to climb them?
I was talking to some moms out there who were nervous, and then I think when the competitors turned around and saw this route, they you know, audibly said, like, "Oh my gosh, you know, this looks hard."
Yeah, and Molly getting a nice flow there, and Hannah kind of, you know, backtracking here to find the most comfortable position to keep moving forward. Something in climbing that's so important is just that patience. You never want to move too quickly or kind of rush your patience in terms of figuring out the right body position and where you're most likely to have success in achieving control of that next hold.
Well, I think this is very interesting because there is a time clock on the route.
That is.
And then what's interesting about the RP category is that they have to move with more intention than any of the other categories.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to somebody in the RP2 category, Braden, and he has trouble with his left side, and so it takes a lot more effort to actually grab a hold and apply the strength on the left side versus the right side. And so if it's a left-handed crux, that takes a lot more time to, you know, actually grab the hold versus the right side.
Right, and here I know it
Big
might be
move for
confusing.
Molly there. Wow.
Wow, that was amazing.
So much power. She tested a little bit first if she could kind of bypass it by grabbing some of those footholds. She's a
unfortunate
little
fall.
stretched out there, but
Yeah, tough one.
awesome.
She's super strong
commitment.
too. She
So powerful.
Has been. I think she's been posting some stories of her benching, and I was like very impressed with her benching ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's very interesting about Molly, this RP3 category, is that one thing you'll notice is some of these athletes used to be AU2, right? And with the new classification, because if you have, let's say a wrist joint, or even just a small movable part, you can't consider it in the arm amputee category. You're now moved to RP3 category. So if you see some folks and you're like, well, this person is missing a part of their limb, why are they not in this category? And that's the reason why of the new classification. She actually competed, years ago as an AU2 athlete.
And there is potentially going to be a new category, which is AU3, which Molly would likely be
put in.
classified.
Yes. I'm hoping for that because Hannah Zook, by the way, looking really strong right now.
Yeah,
She
doing
has
a
cerebral
really good
palsy.
job here of also, again, trying to find that right position because, like you said, trying to move with that intention and not wanting to make a mistake.
Right.
She did, I will say, she tried everything she could aside from that, waiting until the last minute to go with that left hand, which
knowing that was
at a
more
certain-
risky beta.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and
And this is
kind
her
of
second
weighing
year in
her
Open.
options. So
Yeah.
great climb from both Hannah Zook and Molly Ferris, our first RP1 and RP3 athletes out on the walls today. We've only seen the B category classification before this, so you can now you can hear the crowd is loud now. A good flashback here to this really powerful move that Molly was able to stick. Just kind of got stuck in that position, wasn't able to move her feet up, and then Hannah over here making really smart decisions, getting into the right positions and trying to get every point she can on the route, taking her time there to assess and try every least risky movement before going for a risky movement at the end, which also gave her that plus, which was extremely smart.
Yeah, you do have to be really creative when you have some sort of disability on a climb because you can't always do the initially obvious beta. You have to come up with something different to do.
And that's something that's interesting in and of itself, right? Because the route setters are trying to make this playing field as fair as possible, right? But they can't control where you're more effective, which side of your body, so which moves are going to be harder for you possibly just because of that, or and their goal is to keep it even, right? So it's a mix of different left side, right side movements so that they're trying to keep it a little more fair. We're getting our first look at An Hua. I did talk to her earlier, and so she told me I do need to shout out her mom, Huang. So if you're watching, An is here, and she's excited to have you watching, and I can't wait to see what she does on this route in the RP1 category.
Another adaptive climbing group, Chicago athlete, was on our sponsor team last year, came in on her own and trains with our team every week in Chicago. This is only her second year competing, and she already has made podium. This is her last year, and she's coming in new and killing it.
And so we have Lindsay Purcell here on on the center of your screen. When we have both athletes on, she'll be on the left side of your screen.
And
RP3 athlete moving quickly already through this bottom section.
And a Texas native, so hometown spirit up in here. Currently lives in Houston, originally from Kingwood, and also a top competitor in this category. You know, she actually also did the World Cup circuit, and her husband is an amazing physiatrist and has been a great member of the USA Paraclimbing team as well.
On the wall as well on that right side of your screen. We now have that split screen going here. Both athletes trying to figure out exactly what they want to do on this route, on their respective routes, that is.
And this is, both of them is their second time competing and has shown that they are world rep.
Yeah, and again, fighting to get on that national team here. Only 3 spots available. These 2 categories have more than 3 people in them.
Definitely.
So it is important to do really well in this final in order to make it onto the team so you can get more of that experience. Lindsay trying to figure out how to get through this big move that we saw Molly on earlier. Going to go with the right hand, which does set you up a little bit better to get around to the feet. So she is going to start to be in the lead here for that RP3
like her use
category.
of her right foot, because that positioning is really hard with her particular disability. So amazing footwork I'm seeing here for her.
Oh,
amazing.
Nice efforts
Good work.
there
Good
by
work.
Lindsay Purcell. And on not done yet, still making moves on the right side now. She did competed at the Salt Lake City World Cup, ended up 9th there. So getting back on the team and having a chance to do more World Cups is high on her list. And I think she's doing a great job so far on this route, being very decisive and confident with every movement. I talk about confidence a lot in climbing. I think that's one of the first things you need to have, that confidence in yourself to go for moves. And she looks like she has that in just, you know, weighing out where she wants to go, which direction she wants to choose, that intention you were talking about. Nice placement there, really good. Lindsay just talking to the judge, making sure she's getting the right score. 18 plus for her. Gonna put her in a really nice position at the top of the leaderboard right now, with more climbers to come out after. But we are focused on at the moment, so we will wait till On is done with her 6-minute time period.
Yeah, I got to see On in training camp about over a month ago in Chicago, and I've never seen such growth in a climber in a long time.
Isn't
especially
that exciting when you get to see
so
that
exciting
growth?
to see. I'm so
Really-
proud of her.
Really good job with that crux there.
Yeah. So we're right below where we saw Hannah at before. So we know this next part is a little tricky to read.
And especially if you notice, she had to lift her leg with her hand. So that's a very interesting thing, that at an impairment, sometimes your leg can't move, and so you got to lift your leg and put it on
So
the
she
hold.
has to be on the lookout for those stances where she can be comfortably in a position on her left foot and left hand in order to lift her right leg. So
It's
that's
almost like she's always lead climbing. She got to have her 3 points and like maybe
Such a good
something for
point.
lifting the leg.
That might make her left arm a lot more pumped as well, because
Look at this
having
press.
to use her
Look
right.
at this press. Whoa, 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 whoa.
almost into that press, trying to
was a
figure out
tough
how to
one.
pull that left leg up there. I like the idea of the press. It seems like it could work.
I'm also distracted by the cute chalk bag.
Yeah, it looks like if she's able to get her right foot onto where her left foot is and use those feet over to the left, but that would maybe really help so that she could really use that,
The
that
tough
left
part is
side.
switching feet. So here she's about to
Exactly.
do is take some movement. Yeah, there you go. She got it.
Ooh, good save there.
That was really smart. And
Because now she can set herself to use those
Yes.
feet on the left.
really,
There
really
we
good thinking
go.
there so that she can hopefully stand up on this foot.
She still has plenty of time, getting close to that minute and a half.
Almost sitting on that volume on the right,
Yeah.
which is smart.
Oh, good effort. Nice
Nice.
climbing by
Nice.
Anhua.
Very exciting.
Yeah, that was really, really, really smart, Beta. Really good thinking up there, trying
Yeah.
to
Amazing route
get
reading.
into a position so that she could let go of her right hand and use it to lift up her right leg and then switch feet. That looked really, really challenging.
Another look at Lindsay Purcell sticking that move, going up with the right hand instead of the left, which made it so she could bring that right foot up. And then on figuring out how exactly she needed to approach this section to get those left feet out, or that left foot out onto those left foot holds, able to get more points there, and should get a plus from that. We'll have to see what the score says. All smiles from On. She was really excited in ISO to be doing another competition. Again, we've talked about this a few times, but the fact that there aren't as many paraclimbing competitions throughout the year, it makes this one so important and such a great place to not only get the experience, but see all your friends. So 24 points, they're not going to give her that plus, which kind of surprises me, but whatever. And up next, we have
Sarah Bellinger.
Sarah Bellinger. She's also a yoga instructor.
She totally is.
I told her she should take us through a few positions before getting on the wall, but she should probably focus on her climbing, so it's okay if she doesn't. And Olivia Conforti on the RP1,
RP1 category.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute.
She's out of Jersey from the New York Paraclippingers
Another
team.
Paraclippingers team member.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say yes to every committee I'm on so they can get grants. So I can sit down here with you guys and not manage teams. So I'm all with it.
Sarah Bellinger up on the wall into those first circular holds as
sorry, go ahead.
Olivia Conforti is moving up through. Go ahead.
I was going to say, both these competitors just look very excited to be here before getting on the wall.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think.
You gotta love the
Great,
energy.
I'm sorry, too, but great chalk bag choices.
Oh,
Just
oh,
saying.
we got to talk about the pineapple pants.
Okay.
This is a
Tell
tradition
us.
with the pineapple
I was
pants
gonna say
started by one of the first athlete paraclimbers, Ronnie Dixon. And actually, this has been passed around the competition. So
I thought I saw someone wear them yesterday.
Yeah, in qualifiers, a different person was wearing it in a different route. And so these are like these lucky pineapple pants, okay, that has been in competition probably for the last 6 or 7 years now.
Wow.
So I think they wash them. I'm not
They're
sure.
not that superstitious.
yeah, superstition.
It's just,
can
if
definitely
you only need it
come
for a
in.
couple of climbs, you just give it back, you know? Sarah's looking really amazing. She made quick work of this.
Now this is that big committing move here. Requires a lot of power. We've seen every athlete kind of touch that black hold first to see if there was a way to kind of static through it. Now you could get a right heel or
Yeah,
toe,
really
and
high
it looks
toe.
like she's going to get a high foot
It's
there.
that yoga.
Yeah, right? See if she can muster up that power. She's going to bring it back down. I wonder if she, just trying to rock those hips over a little bit to get a little purchase and not have to rely only on raw power.
Yeah,
Beautifully
nice,
done.
Really smart beta for
That
their
undercling.
Smart data, yeah.
And we have Olivia
We have
Conforti on the right side of your screen into that crux section. And now coming out, we have another athlete.
This will be Jess Sport, a longtime paraclimbing athlete. Actually took a step back from competition for a while. Leads a lot of community programs for Paradox in Colorado. Single leg amputee climber.
Just lost Sarah Bellinger on the left side, and now we're focused on Olivia Conforti on the
She should be
right.
psyched on
Great
that
climbing from
performance.
Sarah.
Keeping her placed from qualifiers.
Especially that route reading. It was so amazing. That undercling, making use of that half moon after getting over and not having to just fire to that other undercling was really smart.
Yeah, she has a great coach, Parker Oliver, who manages a fitness studio, and she's a yoga teacher. You put those two combinations together, you're just going to get nothing but great, smart choices in the body.
And now we're seeing somebody get through this section.
Yeah, for the first time.
Which looks really challenging. Those orange super holds are not very good. They kind of look better than they are. And we had them a few times during the national team trials as well. And they were way worse than I expected every time I grabbed them.
Definitely making smart choices and has been training really hard. Also is an amazing outdoor climber, too.
And I feel like this kind of a route, honestly, is similar to something you would see outside, especially that section she's kind of in now, kind of having to be calm, seeing that there's a lot of things you can touch but maybe not make use of, so trying to change your body positions in order to create a stance to where you can make use of that next
Well, this
hold.
is actually why this is crux for RP1, because there's such limited mobility and control here. Having to press when you have limited power and limited mobility and try to get your body into position and then fighting endurance.
Lot going on, and on the left side of the screen, Jessica Schmidt in the open classification. So the first time we've seen that classification on the wall, and we talked about it a little bit at the top of the show about how that classification you'll see a lot of different scenarios because those athletes came here, went through classification, did not fall in any of the other ones that we've been seeing so far and we'll see later. So they all end up in that open classification and are competing against each other. And that is how the youth is as well. There's no separate classification for youth. They're just all put into one category.
Jess Sport is looking really good. I actually don't remember her climbing this strong before. You know, people
Sometimes
come up.
breaks are good.
Breaks are good.
Breaks
right?
are good. They're good for the mind, body, and soul.
I'm into that.
Olivia Conforti fighting on this right side of your screen, making really great route reading decisions and finding exactly which hold she needs to get to in which body positions. And like you said, having to work with, you know, getting her body to do what she wants it to do in those movements.
Correct.
Fighting super hard.
So, so close to the top
Wow,
too.
yeah.
Really not too many moves. Definitely the high point so far in that RP1 classification. And
nice
we're going to
job,
lose Jessica
Jess.
Schmidt as well. Our first of the open athletes that we've seen on the wall. So really exciting to be seeing all of these different classifications. Now we've been showing them on the screen. Olivia Conforti going to get a 36, so not going to get that plus.
And sometimes people choose to do the open category. So we actually have athletes who are choosing to do the open because they didn't want to medal. They just wanted to come free for fun. So actually, Jess is one of those people who, you know, she's like, I am not in the competitive state I was years ago, but I love the sport. I love this community. I'm just going to come in here and just bang it out and have fun.
Love it. So she is
awesome.
going to get a 48 plus. Great climbing from both women.
And then also there's this thing where classification is 2 days before comp. So some people can't take that time off to come in for classification, and so they're like, you know what, I'm just going to climb it open because I don't care. I just love climbing.
And up next, we have Nat Burrell on RP3. I was going to say, too, that open classification has a 1 and a 2, so that is the difference of ability in terms of your climbing grade. So 1 being 5'4" to 5'10", 2 being 5'10" to 5'12", and that is our first look at Melissa. Miss Melissa Ruiz, RP1.
And we got Nat Burrell on RP3, both two
very strong athletes.
They both work for climbing gyms.
It's a good place to start.
They both coach. They both climb amazingly, and they both are killing it on the National and World Cup circuit right now.
Yeah, and I know Nat's been competing in some able-bodied competitions as well, still doing, prior to her accident, was doing that, and since the accident, does still do that at times too, but really psyched to be doing para as well. So kind of a multifaceted athlete. Just wants to do all the comps, which I always love when people love to compete. I think that is great, and I think that makes you a better competitor, really reading this section well so far.
Yeah, you learn a lot from every competition that you do, and so it's a great, if you have the opportunity and ability to go to those competitions, you can really better yourself as a climber and competitor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have favorites. I mean, Melissa's on my team, so I'm gonna if I talk too heavily favorable, I have to. Like, you know, we're both, you know, that's my New York girl right there, leading my programs and doing a lot of work while I'm traveling, and I appreciate her. And she's been working at the Cliffs Gowanus as the youth coach for the past since last year. So that's a new job for her. She actually left teaching special education to do that.
Wow. Oh, and Nat getting into this heel hook here. Really smart to get into that
moves
jump.
by Nat. Let's go.
As Nat's getting to a more overhung section, really going to be a good idea to use the heels and toes if you can in those situations. And I like that Nat's going with a calf hook right now. I'm a fan of a calf, a knee. Anytime you can, like, use your body to get up the wall. I love it.
And this is the first time Paradox has a specific sponsored athlete team this year. So shout out to more people sponsoring athletes so they can come to these competitions. Let's keep it going. Nat is doing what I expected Nat to do, which is just crush.
Finding a knee bar through that section. Got a knee bar on the green hold. Which looked really, really smart. Really good way to get through that section using minimal energy.
Really route reading well as Melissa gets into that part of the route. We've seen a lot of the people kind of fumble in. Effort.
Still high.
So much effort from Nat. Really, really high on that route. I believe that should be the high point, and fighting till the end with a huge jump. So movement shouldn't be a problem for Nat.
Nat came in jumping, so she come out jumping.
Melissa looking really strong through that section as well.
Oh, yeah. She topped 2 out of 3 of the qualifier routes, and she was the only one to top routes in their category in qualifiers yesterday.
She was on fire yesterday. Just trying to find that right body position, kind of maneuvering on the hold to
doing pull-ups, so, you know, if your legs don't work.
Did you see that? She pulled up to be able to put her foot down flat, so that intentional movement in order to change the body position. Nat really happy with that score of a 27 plus. I know Nat has some family in the crowd here today, and Nat will be the winner of this competition, which means more World Cups, more experience, and that's what these athletes are coming here to do. They're coming here to make that team as Melissa continues to get going through that route. And we do have another competitor coming out, Julia Calvert, getting up on that women's open route. We just saw Jessica Schmidt on that route.
Melissa's approaching the high point here. I don't know exactly what move Olivia fell on, but this was getting up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julie Calvert is out of Huntsville, Alabama, climbing for the new Team Catalyst team. They now have a new sports athlete team doing really well. They pretty much, the whole team made finals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Catalyst is also the B3 winner, Amy.
Yeah,
is
Amy
also on
Mullins,
the
yeah.
Catalyst
We already
team.
have a podium for Catalyst Sports already.
And that makes sense. We see that in climbing all the time. There are certain teams that really are able to put a lot of talent out there in climbing and continue to be these dynasties, if you will.
And, it all comes down to the resources. And, we encourage everyone to go out there and just encourage people and open the sport for everyone to be able to participate no matter where they come from, ability, finances, whatever.
Nice rest here by Julia Calvert, making good use of that rest as Melissa is becoming closer and closer to topping this route. Doesn't look like she's that tired, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, she looks like she's chilling.
Definitely not. I think she's warming up.
This last move does look interesting. She's like, cool, I'll climb. I'm going to warm up. That's cool.
Whenever you see somebody chalk up on the second to last hold,
that's a good sign
they're feeling pretty good. Yeah.
She's probably got the time clock in her head. She's like, well, how many minutes I got left?
Just trying to set up to go to that top hold on the right. Melissa Ruiz trying to get a top on this route. We have not seen a top
We have not
yet,
seen a
so
top.
it would be so exciting.
It's a hard move. This is a hard move.
Really setting up.
Just gonna miss it.
With
But
a plus.
really great climbing there from Melissa Ruiz.
Yes.
Really, really amazing.
Great performance. And you know what? I'm loving watching this open category.
It is really exciting.
I'm loving it. And it's amazing because Julie is literally just getting back to climbing last year, with her disability. So, like I said, some people are placed in the category due to classification, and some are intentionally, just because there is no regional or divisional champion.
Great effort
just for them to
there
get their feet wet in the
by
competition.
Julia Calvert.
Open category gives them a chance
Quick
to do
look
that.
at Melissa Ruiz on camera for a second. And I think we're going to get to hear from Nat soon, our champion in the RP3. Not the first time either. Melissa Ruiz's score of 45 plus.
She looks
putting
happy
her
with that.
in a great position. Yep. So we are going to talk to Nat Burrell. Oh my gosh, what an amazing attempt on the route. How much fun did you have out there?
Oh, it was real fun. It was real fun, yeah.
And you were the national champion last year, so I'm sure it was your goal coming in to do it again, but obviously there's a lot of pressure and nerves involved with that. How do you deal with that?
I actually have a pretty good mental space during comps. I did competitive swimming and collegiate swimming for years, so I've gotten really used to just being in the competition headspace. But I do like to do some comp simulators and stuff a couple weeks beforehand, so I can really lock in that mental space that I need while I'm climbing.
Awesome, and clearly that's working well for you. So you're the champion, you're on the team, so how excited are you to go do another World Cup? I know you were 4th last year, looking for a podium this year.
Yeah, looking for a podium. Gotten a lot stronger, so I'm really hoping for a podium next year.
Awesome, well you look great, and we can't wait to watch you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So nice to hear from Nat Burrell, and I think we're going to get a chance to hear from the RP1 winner, Melissa Ruiz, in a second. So hoping to hear her thoughts on the round, getting that headset all set. First of all, I'd love to say I'm a huge fan of the power buns. One of my favorite hairstyles. Melissa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Well, congratulations. So close to topping that route. you know, coming into this competition, you have a lot of experience, and I know you wanted to get back on that team. So how does it feel to win the national championships here today?
Oh, it feels so good.
Well, you were looking amazing since yesterday. We saw you, and we knew coming into this you could be the one to walk away with that gold medal. Now, I know you've had silver medals internationally. How would it feel if you were able to get a gold this year?
Oh my God, that would make my year. I've been training so hard for this.
Well, awesome. Clearly your training is paying off. You look amazing. We can't wait to root for you during the World Cup season. Thank you so much, and we're so psyched for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're going to get ready to put our next climbers on the wall. So great to hear from our winners. Julia Calvert with a score of 48+. There are still 2 more climbers to come in that open women's category. So looking forward to see what happens next. Our next athlete on the wall in that open category. We have Hannah Bailey getting through those opening moves.
Hannah Bailey is actually the only one here. Well, not the only one, but she's actually originally from England.
Oh.
Yeah, and currently lives in Berkeley, California, representing the Bay Area of the Paracliffhangers today.
I love that. Really,
sounds like there's some people excited in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was honestly such a stark contrast after the B category. You know, everyone obviously having to be silent, and then the minute we started the rest of the categories, like I was hearing whistles, and I was like, wait, I'm not used to this now. I need a second to adjust to the new environment really quick.
Yeah, resisting that urge to cheer for the B categories is such a challenge.
So now we just saw all the women's RP3 and 1 categories, and now we're going into the men's and seeing what they can put on the same route.
Exactly. Just getting all set up, tied in here, or not really tied in, we're clipping in. We already have the knots tied, which is actually so much nicer because then it's just a quick clip, easier to make sure everything is nice and safe. Hannah Bailey really reading this route well, looking quite confident and comfortable, just getting some shakes in, maybe starting to get a little bit tired as she gets those shakes in. Our first look at our newer athletes coming out here. Alex Dornbush for men's RP1 was just in the lower right side of your screen, just getting some chalk on the hands to make sure.
And then I believe Atticus
prepared.
Matkin stepped out for
Yep.
the RP2 male category.
Going to backtrack there a little on
There
the
he
right.
is.
Atticus Matkin on the left, getting started on the RP2 route for the men. Oof.
Nice
Really
job,
good effort
Hannah.
there from
It's her first time
Hannah.
competing, and I
Wow.
like seeing it.
She did great. Doing a great job. Left side of your screen, Atticus, Matkin on those opening moves. Again, we're seeing the men and the women in similar classification categories on the same route. We did see the RP3 women on this route, so we're seeing RP2 men on this route. And on the right side of your screen, we have Alex Dornbush, RP1 for the men, first one out. Not unfamiliar to competitions. Lots of history with competing, and a Kentucky boy, as he's screaming Kentucky.
And a veteran.
A veteran. He is 34 years old, but in our little survey, he said he was not even near his prime yet. So expecting lots to
That's
come
Alex
from
for
him.
ya.
He definitely great personality, lots of energy. Awesome to see him back here. He's looking to get back on that team. He wants to have more medals in his, trophy
Atticus
case.
is making some, that was a tough one. I mean, that's definitely a divider. Trying to get your right leg up over there for the rest.
All of a sudden, there's just no feet there. You only have that white
Yeah, you gotta cut
undercling to
feet.
put your feet on, and
Yeah.
it's pretty smeary. There's nothing really to pull you into the wall. And so if you can't get that foot really high up on the green like we saw Nat do, that section is definitely really challenging.
Alex was 5th in Salt Lake City at the Paraclimbing World Cup and 4th in Villar. So looking to get on that podium if he can make it back onto the team. Route reading is great right now. Hannah Bailey with a score of 48 plus. Talking to Jessica Schmidt, maybe talking over the beta a little bit, enjoying the atmosphere. Things are really moving now. We have a lot going on in this part of the competition as we have lots of climbers on the wall at the same time, keeping it really exciting. Good little shake there for Alex, taking advantage of that moment as Atticus takes a second. Atticus Menken takes a second to confirm the 20-point score on his attempt of the route.
And we're also moving. We got another climber about to hit the wall in the women's RP category next, but we're loving seeing how Alex is working his way through this route. He's a multi-sport athlete in other Paralympic sports, and just over the last 3 years, he's taken to the sport so strongly and just keeps improving every year in placement.
And that's what you want to do. The more experience you get, hopefully you go back, you train, you come back again, and you can see those results of all of that training. Again, another look at Atticus Matkin's 20-point score. First one out for the RP2 for the men. Seems in good spirits. First out's the best. You did what you could do, and you don't know what's going to happen next.
And Alex is down.
Little slip there for Alex, but
yeah,
we'll have to see how that plays out for the rest of that RP1 category. Remember that RP1 category, the most limbs affected, so really having to articulate and be so intentional with all of your movements in order to set yourself up in the best position possible.
And he's one of 2 athletes that is competed in this competition from Kentucky, Sonny Yang.
Coming out soon.
Another one. And,
the Kentucky boys.
Yeah, the Kentucky boys. Kentucky veterans. They're both veterans, too.
Oh, yeah, they are veterans. Yeah, exactly. We have Kendall Obra in that women's open category. Last athlete to come out for the women's open category. So the rest of the classification looking on to see what Kendall can do on this route.
And the open category is divided into 2 sessions. In this first session, it's by rating of climb as well as women and men category, right? So this first session is between 5.4 and 5.9, and then the second session is rated climbs of 510 plus to 512.
So nice to have that grade differentiation to split those categories, especially when you're putting a lot of athletes together that have a lot of different mobilities. Yeah.
And they can actually choose which session they want to be in.
That's awesome.
Was that self-declared grade?
Yeah. They're like, well, some people were put in open category because of the classification, and some intentionally went to open, and then you get to choose to be if you're in session 1 or session 2. And this is new for USA Climbing. IFSC hasn't even attempted to do this yet. And we just want to make it fair for everyone who comes to the sport, get them psyched to climb.
Yeah, that is a great way to just keep growing paraclimbing, and hopefully eventually see it in the Paralympics. Is getting more and more people involved is definitely the way we're gonna see that happen.
She looks psyched for her performance too.
That's awesome, Kendall.
That's what we want to see. We want to see that face right there.
That is the face we want to see. Just kind of scanning the wall, reassessing. Wait, did I do everything I wanted to do?
Yeah,
we all have that, right? The minute we come off, we're already looking up. Wait, did I do that right? Did I want to do something else? I don't know. It's hard not to get stuck into how you're feeling about what's happening. So Kendall will be our winner. Still waiting for his score, but we will get a chance to speak a little bit. And like you were saying, the open category will not get to compete in the World Cups, but national champion is still so huge.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Kendall is so excited, and I'm really excited to see what she has to say about it. But I think we're going to get going.
Next up in RP2 category is Lorenz Capilli out of New York City, Queens, New York to be exact. Yes, I am favoritizing again.
But this category is super competitive.
It is. This RP2 male category is these top, I would say 4 are just, it's definitely pretty close. It's close.
I was watching them battle out on the climb that they only got 1 top yesterday. There was 3 climbs. They all topped 2 of them, I believe. And then there's this one climb that separated 4 of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were being kind of cutthroat, like, you know, very supportive, but kind of cutthroat, like not telling each other the beta that they were using at the top or like anything about the holds. It was
if someone topped it, like, oh, I gotta go back to that route again.
Yeah,
Like,
you know, like I think they're kind of like waiting to see if somebody else topped it, to see if they had to do it again. And so, you know, I liked seeing it. It was like really, it was cool to see how competitive they are.
That is so interesting. And on your right side of the screen, we have Sunny Yang, another competitor we've seen a lot in these competitions.
a legend, an able-bodied
very much a legend indeed.
Actually.
Second place last year at the Salt Lake City Para World Cup, and always the best attitude. And we have Kendall here. Kendall, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Congratulations on becoming the national champion. Was that your goal coming here?
Yes, but also it's just shocking.
I mean, I love this reaction right now. Like, clearly you're so excited. How are you going to celebrate this win?
I think I should get boba. That's usually my go-to.
I fully support you in that decision. Kendall, it was amazing to watch you climb. So excited to have you in this competition. Gold medalist at Paraclimbing National Championships. I hope to see you next time, and I can't wait to see what you do. Go get that boba, girl.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, wow. Look at Leo bustling through.
Campusing that section.
See, this is where it gets exciting, y'all.
Wow. Just showing
sick.
so much strength there.
Looking really strong.
Really strong. Just campusing. That's what we got to do.
Sunny
looking
Yang
amazing,
on
too.
the right side, just figuring out this section. He's getting really close to that next volume section with a lot of large holds as well that we've seen a lot of the athletes kind of have to come at in a creative way. Leo,
great job from Leo. I've seen his
climbing.
progression from back when he was an athlete on my team before the pandemic to where he is now. Amazing.
It's so cool again to see that evolving of an athlete, and Leo, an athlete who has some World Cup experience, so definitely one of the athletes trying to get back out there, because he's competed 2019 12th place at Briançon, so gonna want to get back on the team and hopefully get more World Cups under his belt.
Definitely.
So another look
Sunny's
at
still up there, guys.
Leo with the 26 plus, and then we'll be looking at Sunny in that lower right side of our screen. Honestly, moving through this,
So
not
strong.
very strong.
When I say
but
still
also,
up there, I'm saying because this dude is strong.
Sunny is very strong, quite the reputation. If you've been to the Red River Gorge, you've probably seen him and his family. He's
Or
amazing.
stayed at the Climbers'
Or stayed
Home.
at the Climbers' Home. Or
Yeah.
if you haven't stayed at the Climbers' Home,
Go
you
stay at
should
the Climbers' Home.
Stay at the Climbers' Home.
At 54 years old, he's crushing folks half his age.
Exactly, and you know, climbing for so long, really knowing how to understand movement, and you know, look at that, by the way, just smearing just to the right he was a second ago to at that bolt hanger, and now using his knee here to kind of inch his way into this screw on. Needs to
Unfortunate slip, just missed that jib
yeah,
on the right.
I think having to pause there made it a little difficult to then keep going, but great climbing for Sunny Yang.
Amazing.
I'm interested to see if they give him a plus
Yeah.
on that, because
I think so.
I
It
feel
was like a control. He just missed the hold.
and
you know?
he should get a control.
I think that would-
actually.
I think that would be
he
at
should
least
get
a plus, if
and
not
a plus,
control,
because
then.
he
Yeah.
was moving too. So we'll have to see how that pans out in the scores. I will say, I don't know about y'all, but my live scores are not really showing any scores anymore. So hopefully they start again.
Well, now we just feel like the crowd at home.
You know.
I know.
You were talking favorites, Karima, but I have to say I'm really rooting for Braden here.
So am I.
He's,
Actually, my favorite too.
I'm rooting for everybody.
I'm rooting for everyone, but Braden has been climbing.
I'm rooting for all the paraclimbers. I'm rooting for paraclimbing.
Well,
for real.
Great.
But
Another look at Sunny Yang, all smiles, always
all
the
smiles.
best attitude.
No matter where he falls, he's
He
always
has one
up.
of the best smiles in the game. 26
that's how he
plus.
got his
they
wife.
did give him that. I think he did too. Yeah. His wife also so lovely. And back to Braden. We've all seen him a lot. He goes to Salt Lake a lot to train Kyra. I know you've climbed with him quite a bit.
Yeah, he's been in our training center training really hard, doing a lot of bouldering, I know, to kind of up his strength and get ready for these hard moves that he knew he was going to get with the RP2 category being as competitive as it is.
I guess he's our only resident TV star, actually, as well, too.
He also hosted a TV show recently.
He's on a reality sports TV show. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I threw it to them, and he was like, sure, I want to be on it. And I was like, okay.
First look at Connor King, men's RP1. Still Connor to climb, and then one more climber after, and that's when we'll decide who is the top 3 in RP1 as Braden gets going on the RP2 route. Also, this category, like you were saying, or sorry, yeah, RP2, this category is also very stacked. We saw in the qualification round of this category a lot of the men trying to decide if they wanted to try their third route again or not, because it was really tricky at the top. It was basically just a boulder at the top, and Braden, Ben, and Dennis all got back on it, which was awesome to see. And
the crowd was going
it was
crazy.
so everybody was so close to topping, and Dennis actually was able to do it. But really cool to see the competition between the 3 of them. So things are about to get
3
real
major
spicy.
athletes. Now, Connor here is also a long-time paraclimbing athlete. Started out in youth section of paraclimbing out of Atlanta as well. You know, went to college, came back, and is looking stronger than ever.
And you see that a lot, especially when athletes go to college. I feel like they their schedules change a little bit, so then they have to figure out how they can fit climbing in their schedule. And then once they do, they come back and they've learned how to multitask so well that all of a sudden they have more time and they can train better, and they come back just ready to fight on the wall.
Yeah, and as an adult, you can just see the maturity in his movement as well, you know, as an adult climber. And Braden's making some really strong moves. He's very serious about training, about competition, about sport in general. He started off actually in mountain biking, which is how he became injured and became the para-athlete he is today.
And he does still
making a really good move there.
Yeah, really nicely done.
Very smart.
Braden having that experience on the international circuit already. Salt Lake City and Innsbruck last year, both 6th place finishes. So
yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with him on the World Cup circuit, and with his family, who's just like super supportive of his athleticism.
Yeah. His mom was with somebody I was talking to before this, and she was really nervous about this section that he just made it through. So that was really exciting. I know he struggles with his left side, and so that big move up to that black hold was really well done.
Connor's looking amazing, just really smooth coming through this section here, and just being really smart and intentional with the movements, and it's good to see.
Ooh, nice foot placement on the left for Braden and getting that right foot up. That move does look really tricky. It looks like you might want to come at it a little lower, so maybe bumping the right wasn't ideal, but amazing climbing from Braden. Still so young, so trying to, and pretty new to climbing still, you know,
still in high school. The youngest athlete in his category.
Yeah, and he's been coming out into Salt Lake and spending, a month there doing school online so that he can train and really focus on sports.
And as we talked about, his left side is the trouble side, so he actually just kind of dynoed for it because he can't reach out for it coordinatingly, and that was a move, like you said, the route setters cannot determine which side of the body is going to work for that athlete, you know?
Connor King fighting through that men's route, definitely proving to be a hard route in this round. It's very diverse with the movement and the shapes and what the route setters are asking of the climbers. Another look at Braden on this super powerful move to that super villain black hold right into it, holds the swing so well. Quick shake.
Yep. That's where you can see that bouldering training pay off too, with those low feet jumping into that hold.
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, there's not many paraclimbers who do dynamic movement. We're usually very static because of that intention, because of the possibility of missing, and so when you see a dynamic move, you're like, oh boy, this person's all in, So yeah.
Connor King just taking a second to confirm what's going on. Oh, Braden getting a huge hug from his mom. His mom is so sweet. Just giving a hug to BB. Braden Butler, a.k.a. BB. Oh, she's so proud. I love that. That's my favorite. It's so nice when athletes can have their parents out there supporting them. Kyra, your parents come all the time. It's very special, right, to have them in the crowd. They're here for you 100% and just ready to watch you.
I do love it. And you can actually see a lot of these competitors, as soon as they fall off the wall, they look to the crowd and try and find that person who's here with them, whether it's a coach, a teammate, a parent, and you can see them turn around and try and find them in the crowd and look for that thumbs up to get that reassurance that what you did was maybe enough for whatever your goal was. I know after I fell off, I look for my parents in the crowd and try and find them to see if, like, what signal she's giving me, whether it's a uh-oh face or a positive face. And
legend on the wall, living legend, 28-year-old
right.
Ben Mayforth, multi-champion athlete, climber, also
World Cup medalist.
World Cup medalist.
Most recently,
just
Innsbruck.
winning. He's just winning all around.
Yeah, Innsbruck and Villar, a gold in each of them, and looking to get back on that team. And like you both said, living legend. I think if you know anything about paraclimbing, you know about Ben Mayforth.
Won 2 World Cups last year.
Yep. I would say Ben, too, also really known for how just strong he is.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He can do planches like nobody's business. He can do front levers. He can do an insane amount of pull-ups, really good canvassing, really, really strong competitor.
He also has a coaching business. He coaches other paraclimbers that compete or have competed over the last couple of years or so.
So anyone in the Maryland area.
Like, if you're looking for a coach.
So he did say that
shaking out in a one-arm walk.
Look at this. Look at this.
He
what
said
did I say?
his biggest
Dynamic.
accomplishment in 2022 was getting engaged to his wonderful fiance and then winning those 2 World Cups.
Yeah,
So.
they actually met on the paraclimbing circuit. She climbs for Slovenia. Yeah.
Approaching this crux section here.
Oh, wow. Ben Mayforth living up
take
to
all my money, Ben.
the legend
Take it all.
status. Wow, that was insane.
That section looks really, really hard. There's no feet there. Like, you have to either use that really high foot or do what Ben just did and just dyno.
I feel like
Well, he started off in bouldering, and I think that is why his movement is like that.
Totally,
you
and
know?
the experience he had to see a move like that and be like, cool, I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to throw to it like I'm bouldering. You know, something that we saw Braden kind of try to figure out something else he could possibly do there. But, you know, with the experience, you might recognize those movements
Ben's
a little
off the
quicker.
route. And on the wall right now, we have the current reigning champion of male RP1, Elliot, who is actually the leader of the Paracliffingers of the West Coast. One of the leaders there. So he's over here, like, making sure people get the classifiers, driving people around, and then somehow has time to train and win. I mean,
some people are better multitaskers
than others. Some people are better multitaskers, yeah.
Elliot Nguyen making moves on this RP1 route, proving to be quite difficult and full of so many hold options and you know, a lot of volumes, and you're seeing even outright you saw some feet with some little footholds on the dual text holds, so they're really stacking things. Big hug, Ben Mayforth, 36 plus with Sunny Yang and Braden Butler, Leo as well.
Yeah, I think that one thing that's very interesting when we talk about the male RP1 category, right? And noticing that there's like more impairment, let's say on legs for someone who might have stronger hands. And so the crux changes for each athlete as they come through it, even if they're in the same category, right? We saw that with the women's RP1 where Melissa's very great at campusing, but maybe, you know, Conforti was really good at pressing, you know, and getting that position and mantling. And so this is like something that you're never going to see, not one person, no matter what category, climb this route exactly the same.
Well, I know in para swimming, too, a lot of the athletes are combined into different categories based on, and it also changes with each stroke, you know, because somebody who's missing a leg maybe is more challenged with the breaststroke versus front stroke and all those things. So your category actually changes per stroke, too, in other sports. So this is something that is also apparent in other para sports as well.
Exactly, and Elliot working through this crux section. Hold's about to get a little worse after this one. It's kind of a big reach to that next hold to get onto the screw-on, so needs to start moving his hips up. Nice placement there with that knee scum to kind of gain that height that he needs here.
And here's that part with the pressing. This is one of the cruxes for RP1. Depending on your mobility, this could be incredibly hard. And if you don't have control of your hips, which some of our athletes don't, you know, this is not working for you.
Yeah,
you know?
you can see those feet are really high, and so to be able to get the distance to that white screw on, you really need to kind of get creative and use those presses like we were talking about. Or really reach.
Oh, really reach, yeah.
Taking a moment to breathe and shake and get a little chalk there, really smart. And on the left, we have Dennis Connors starting
legend
for RP2.
More legends.
And so interestingly enough, when I was talking to Dennis yesterday, he was like, do you remember when we were in the JCC
JCCA, and I was like, oh my gosh, the amount of people who don't remember the JCCA. It's always so nice to remember or have someone remember it. So the JCCA was before USA Climbing. It was the Junior Competition Climbers Association. So pre-TBIs from the military, and then a stroke in 2020. Dennis did a lot of the able-bodied competitions for 20-something years.
Was one of the most well-known competitive climbers of his time. And then, you know, he has 27 years of competition experience.
The thing about it, too, is that when he had his stroke, it brought him back to climbing. He had been doing paracycling, which he does still do.
He still does. And he's a champion there, too.
Yes,
you know,
he is. But it's nice that it brought him back. He didn't even know paraclimbing existed, because especially, you know, the time period he started climbing, things
one of
have
my
changed
past
so much.
athletes, who is a Paralympic sports science trainer, actually told him about it, and that's how he got here.
Look at Elliott making very good decisions to get onto that
And
screw
still,
on there.
yeah, I mean, like I said, this could be the crux for a lot of RP1 athletes. If they can get out of it, great. But then they're spent, tired, and then they have another roll to go. But Elliott's got a lot of gas in him. I think he can make it through.
He does look really good. Being really patient through that section, and it paid off. You saw him take that rest, compose himself, come up with beta, execute that beta, and then get through that section. So that's really, really good.
Dennis getting close to that powerful section.
And this is where it's hard. So with his TBI and with BB's TBI, it's coordination and getting your body to move as you want it to is the difficulty. So this is why this is a cruxy section for a lot of the RPT athletes.
And using more of a static approach here for Dennis on the left side, getting through. Elliott, so much fight on that route. I do believe that should be the high point for Elliott.
Dennis was the one person to top that third route yesterday. So
the only one.
Getting into the crux where we saw Ben get to.
And man, good effort there.
That means the route setters are doing a good job, because it's hard for these guys to not top.
I know these guys really wanted a hard climb too, because last year it came down to some ties because multiple people topped the route and it went back to qualifiers.
And it went back to
likes,
time.
Nobody likes tying in finals.
It happened in the was it LA World Cup too?
Happens
a
all
triple
the time,
silver plus, even back to time backs, they still tied. So they're like, we need something a little bit more.
Elliott Nguyen going to be the winner for the men's RP1 with that score of 34 plus. Really nicely done.
Nice.
Awesome to see him get there on that route, setting himself up nicely to get back to the World Cups. Already has a bronze under his belt, but probably looking for a gold. I was going to say silver and gold, but I was just let's go for gold.
I like
good jewelry. Go for gold. Dennis Connors, pleased with his attempt. Great climbing from him. Is not going to be able to beat Ben Mayforth. Just a few holds ahead, but amazing climbing, great route reading. Again, going to be on the team and have a chance to compete in those World Cups later on. There's our winner, Ben Mayforth, just discussing the beta with Dennis. This is your typical climber reaction to getting off of the wall. Let's talk about the beta. What did you do? This is what I did. This was crazy. I had to do this campus. So Ben Mayforth going to walk away with another national championship. So we're going to see if we can get an interview from some of those winners that we just saw. Really exciting to see all of these winners. I think we have Ben on the headset. Ben, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Climbing,
so awesome to see you. I know you just got those 2 gold medals last year in the World Cups. How does it feel to be back on the team? And also, that dyno was insane.
It feels really great. I'm really glad that I actually trained really well for this. Really glad that I got to get to Slovenia for a couple of weeks and really get to test out some of those morpho holds. We don't typically get to see those here, so I'm really glad I took some time to get on those.
Such a good point. Served you so well. And now that you're back on the team, what are you looking forward to with the World Cups coming up?
Well, the plan is to just try and podium at every event. I didn't podium at every event last year, and that's the main goal. So I'm just really excited for the season.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and enjoy the rest of the competition, national champion.
Thank you. I will.
More climbers coming out. We are moving into
the
AU1 category. So we are going to, and I'm not sure what route they're going to be on yet. We will see in a second.
He's actually the only AU1 athlete, and we haven't had one in such a long time, which shows you, how open the field is going to be moving forward in paraclimbing.
So I believe he's going to be on the same route we just saw the RP1 athletes on. So exciting to see. So not a lot of AU1s recently.
Well, just in the world, in
general,
competition,
there are.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you might get 2 or 3, 2 maybe at a World Cup if you're lucky.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but I think the growth of getting paraclimbing out on the World Cup circuit, getting streaming, when people see people like themselves,
Yeah.
they're inspired. I was inspired to go rock climbing because Ronnie Dixon put out a video with Louder Than 11, and my physician sent it to me and said, "Oh, maybe you should try climbing." Oh no! What an unfortunate slip.
But like you said, only
he did
person,
so well in qualifiers.
Only person in the category, so it's devastating nonetheless
Yeah.
for experience, but not devastating because he will have a chance to have more experience.
Right, and this is
year
his
in the
first
World Cup.
competition too. And all I know is that this visibility means that we're going to see some more AU1 athletes.
Exactly, which that's
Yeah.
what we want to see. So
Mhm.
real quick, we do have Elliot, the winner in the RP1 category. Elliot, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations on becoming the national champion. How excited are you to get back out to those World Cups this season and represent USA?
I am stoked. I think that, I had an injury earlier this year, so I wasn't exactly sure how Nationals was going to go, but I'm really, really excited to go to qualify for the U.S. team and do a few World Cup and World Championship competitions this year.
Well, awesome. I'm so glad you're feeling better, and clearly you are prepared, and congratulations on becoming the national champion.
Thank you so much.
So exciting to have all of these national champions crowned. I love it. It's so nice.
The energy is so electric in
I
here.
normally only get to do like 1 or 2 interviews, but we're getting to crown a national champion over and over again. Kyra Condi, thank you so much for joining us. It was so nice to have you in the booth, and thank you for supporting Para, and I wish you luck taking photos of this competition.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Can't wait to see 'em.
I'm going to try and get some of them to the athletes now. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
I think we're just going over scores here for Brian. AU1 athlete for the men. Just want to double check with those judges.
Yeah, before we move on to the next category, I believe that it's very interesting because we want to just encourage more people. You say, oh, there was only one person in that category. It's because you're not here. So get out here and compete. Doesn't matter. Just get out here and join this community.
Totally, I agree. And if you're watching and you could be paraclimbing, please come to the next one. Here's a look at those classifications. And remember, if you don't fall in those classifications, open is also open to you, and the youth is also a little different. That is under 15 years old. Nice look at that breakdown again as we get ready for the other athletes to come out and start on their routes. You are seeing 4 routes on the wall. Each athlete only climbs 1 route. They have 6 minutes on the wall. If they time out, they have to come down, but their last controlled hold is scored. And if they get some movement, they'll get that as well. So really cool format that we have here. And here, if you want to get to those live results, that QR code, you can get there and check out what's been going on. We've already had multiple national champions crowned. I can't really give you a guesstimate number. I'm trying to keep up with too many other things that I don't know what that is.
So there's a lot of categories still left to go. Is there one category that you've seen that, like you're kind of excited or looking forward to, or maybe you don't get enough to see?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to every category because in my experience, I have not gotten to see too many paraclimbing competitions. I've only seen them competed at World Championship events and a couple World Cup events. So just getting to see all these U.S. athletes come out here and compete at the Nationals, getting to see the Nationals and meet so many paraclimbers that I hadn't met because I'd only been to the international competitions. So I'm excited for everything. I don't have a favorite. I'm just excited.
You know who I want to shout out right now? The production team. I've done a few of these things. I ain't gonna lie, and I was like, this is top notch. We get to speak to the athletes. You get to hear what they want to say. And we would love to hear what you guys think also of this as well in the future, to show us what would work for you to see.
And speaking of which, we have Brian, the AU1 national champion. Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How excited are you to get the chance to compete in some World Cups this year?
I'm really excited. I can't wait. It's just an amazing experience to see all these people doing this, and really inspiring, and yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, getting the chance to come out here and compete with all these other paraclimbers at nationals, and now you are the national champion, and to move on forward and compete at those World Cups, we're so excited for you, and we can't wait to see what you do.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome to hear from Brian. And again, like you said, he did so well in the qualification. Little slip here in the finals round, but okay, because only person in the category, but obviously that experience, it's nice to get that experience and be in the final. Like, it's not just...
And this is his first competition.
Exactly, and it's not just about, you know, the competition itself. Like, the final feels different from a qualifier, so maybe it didn't go as well as you wanted to, but getting that experience, what it's like to be in a final round, and he's got all those World Cups to come.
And that's now he knows like how he's going to train, because the next World Cup is in May. Now we're getting our next category, which is the women's AU2 category, probably one of the most stacked categories we're going to see, just like the men's RP2 category.
Another one where there is 4 competitors competing, so it's just 3 people making the team. And we're getting our first look at Giovanna Dubuc.
Otherwise known as Gia, or G,
I know, I asked her, I was like,
to the ACG fam.
What do you like to be called? Giovanna, Gia? She was like, anything and everything. And I was like, I love your energy.
You know, I think it's an adaptive climbing group culture. We're just like that.
Well, I'm here for it. That is the kind of energy that I
And she's also the youngest competitor in her category. She's 18. She started actually in youth and moved into open and did her first full World Cup circuit last year.
Wow.
Full World Cup circuit with us.
And speaking of youth, we do have our first youth competitor, Amite Hempner, on the wall, getting to it. Also, another cool chalk bag. We've seen a few of those.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to express your own style. I feel like chalk bags are one of the ways as climbers we can express kind of our vibe a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really great, and it's also good because now we're going to see the potential of when this kid moves on to the open category. Like, what are we going to see in the future? He's doing some really great saves. I mean, with his particular ability, you have to understand that most youth that are going to be in the youth category are born with their disability. And usually that category is cerebral palsy or visual impairment or a combination of both.
Oh, nice job there. Really good efforts.
Amazing.
First time out, our first youth competitor, Amite Hempner, looking pleased. Looking a little gassed, maybe a little tired. So that's the other thing. Youth athletes, what's always interesting is it's harder to manage breathing and when to shake and rest. I find that with kids, oftentimes, those kind of things.
18-year-old Gia seems to be doing all right.
Well, I don't count 18 as a kid.
Okay. I guess I can't call her a kid anymore now.
No, she's 18.
I've been climbing with her since she was 13, and now I don't know what to do anymore. But this is her 4th time at nationals. She competed at 4 World Cups, and she's out of North Carolina, representing a lot of we have actually a lot of North Carolina paraclimbers here competing. It's just one of the growing areas of paraclimbing.
She is setting up for that move. Nicely done. So making sure to hit past that dual textured hold. Now she just needs to figure out how to bring that left hand in. Wow!
Whoa. And we saw the B category do this earlier this morning. And so it's interesting. We're going to see a totally different beta for this route.
Yeah, that tension she had when she bumped her left hand in with her foot on the hold, really being able to hold it there. This section we've seen be really tricky. I could see possibly a press happening.
It's that cross. It's that tricky cross. And as an arm amputee, if you don't have the reach, or if your arm amputation's on the opposite side, it means something different for you.
Exactly. Amite with a 16 plus for the youth category. Another look at Gia. Such smart route reading here, making sure she gets to the right side and just having to figure out how to get through this cross, like Karima was saying. So close. A little too spread on her stance, possibly. Just need a little more height, but all smiles. Always so much good energy from Gia. 33 plus,
Definitely.
setting the tone for this category, this women's AU2 category. Like you were saying, a very stacked category.
Very stacked. And actually, at least both two competitors have championships in
Exactly.
So
Which always makes it a little tricky.
yeah. And coming up for the youth category, Elliot Hugh out of New York City actually
Another
started.
pair of cliffhangers.
And also started in my program as a small, in our youth programs in New York City, and decided to compete, I believe, about a year or two ago. Actually, one of his main inspirations for competing is Melissa Ruiz, who also has CP.
Oh, I love that.
And he would tell me the sessions, he's like, did Melissa do this route yesterday? I want to do this route now. Like, I was like, so adorable.
That is always nice when you can have people to look up to, especially if you get to meet them. Like the fact that he's here and he gets to be in the competition with her. I think it's important, like you were saying, just we all, like when we recognize people doing great things that are like us, it is a great way to have that drive and motivation to want to put yourself out there too. Isabel Benvenuti up next for the AU2 classification category for the women.
We have some new climbers in here, and this young lady is one of them.
And Karima, I have a question.
You have many
So
questions.
we're seeing with Isabel.
Yes.
She has her arm wrapped. We did not see Gia choose to wrap her arm. What is the reasoning behind that?
It's both. There's two things, right? Climber choice, skin ability. I know some arm amputee paraclimbers that like to build the calluses on their short arm. And there's some who choose to protect it.
Gotcha.
So you will actually see another paraclimber also wrap their arm as well.
Okay.
And then you'll see some male amputee climbers who choose to or to not to. Almost like in the prosthesis thing. Like some amputees will choose to not wear their prosthesis when climbing because they feel it hinders their mobility or something like that. It doesn't give an advantage or disadvantage in any way to wrap or not wrap your arm in this category.
That makes sense. Do some of because like you were saying, the prosthesis has something to do with that sometimes. Do a lot of the AU athletes generally use a prosthesis outside of climbing? Do you know? Is that
no
common?
AU2 athlete wears a prosthesis when climbing. Actually,
no, not when, but outside of climbing.
Outside of climbing, sometimes.
Okay.
I mean,
Just
again,
depends.
it's more like a stylistic, personal choice. Yeah.
Totally.
Or ability. It's more of a lifestyle choice than anything. I would
But
say.
in climbing, not so much, right? Might be more.
It's actually more hindering to wear one unless you're doing something like ice climbing, where you need to hold a tool.
Exactly.
And so that's the only time I've ever seen a climber wear a climbing prosthesis is ice climbing.
Okay.
And I've actually seen a lot of one-arm climbers who don't use one when ice climbing. I actually climbed with a paraclimber in Montana with Vasu and Conrad Anker, and she chose to do some weird rose cross tool thing and only not use anything.
Yeah, interesting. So Isabel choosing a little bit of different beta there than we saw Gia use, and kind of getting
Looks
the
like it's
cross.
paying off, I think.
Definitely paying off, getting the cross before being in that wider stance. Now she does have another cross coming up soon. We've seen this route climbed by a few different classifications, and we know that there is a possible cross later. Isabel just trying to figure out,
But
was
it does
so
take
close.
a lot of you. It's that cross. And
Really
especially
close.
again, I'm not going to say it's an advantage or disadvantage, but depending on your ability and your experience in that kind of move, it's a little bit of both. There's a lot of factors in there.
Elliot
but I think
also,
she did amazing.
She did an amazing job. So cool to see the different beta. Elliot Hugh also coming off the wall moments ago. Both great efforts from both of these athletes. Breathing a little hard. It is, the higher you get up on this wall too, the hotter it's getting in this room. 34 points for Isabel Benvenuti. Nice climbing from her. We'll have to see how that plays out for the results as Elliot Hugh gets unclipped from the rope, and 48 points, really setting the tone there for the male youth category.
And he came in, I believe, in the finals into second. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
qualifies into second.
Yeah. So right now, kind of in the place to be if he's going for the gold. With one more climber to come.
Agreed.
Talking through some beta with Elliot Nguyen over there.
I really love, just the development of the routes over the last couple of years. And now we're back up to the women's AU2 category with not as seasoned as Gia with 5, but this is her second nationals competition, and we're looking at Ellie Rubin out of Oakland, California.
Oh, she's close to me. It's near where I live. Getting all clipped in, ready to go. Ellie having won the bronze at the Salt Lake City Paraclimbing World Cup, and we have Watson Armstrong for the youth from Birmingham, Alabama. Only 11 years old.
He is strong.
And remember that youth category goes up to 15, depending on your birthday,
right,
whenever you're eligible to be in the adult categories. So some of the youth climbers might spend more time in this category than others, depending on how early they get into climbing. Yeah, it was really fun watching Watson climb. In the bio, it was mentioned that, that pulling strength was something he developed really early, and with climbing, he just keeps developing it and becoming stronger and stronger.
Yeah, we saw his debut in Birmingham, Alabama, in his hometown where the competition
that's
happened.
Awesome.
Actually,
Hometown, best.
Yeah. He was. He just likes hanging out with friends, mountain biking, and doing math homework when he's not climbing. He told us.
Problem solver.
Problem solver, and perfect for climbing.
Exactly. Translates very well.
And Ellie Rubin is making some nice intentional movement here on this route.
Yeah, I think reading this route is so important in terms of where you want to have your feet to set up for those crosses. Hopefully the athletes are noticing where those crosses might be in that route, so they can make those right decisions when they get there and not have to kind of feel around for the position.
Yeah.
Just saving as much energy as possible, especially when you see those moves that could be more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see that for sure. And you know what I love about a lot of these climbers is they have things in their life that actually contribute to climbing. Like, for instance, she's a full-time occupational therapist.
Yeah.
Who else to know about gripping and climbing and keeping them finger injuries than your OT?
So true.
And here comes that cross, that tricky cross.
Watson just kind of backtracking for a second, which
getting into that rest. Look at these smart moves.
An 11-year-old backtracking and realizing,
smart.
You know what? I need to take a second. I need to reassess. That wise beyond his years, clearly, as Ellie Rubin makes it through that section. We have yet to see any of the AU2 women make it through there, so she has the high point now.
Yeah.
Sitting in a good spot, especially with Mo Beck coming up after her. So you've got a serious legend and veteran of the competition realm. So you got to put it all out there.
Right.
With her coming up after. Watson just trying to figure out exactly how he wants to approach this next move.
It's a small knob. I mean, that's hard when you're thinking about your wingspan. Like, am I gonna?
It almost
the move
looks
has to be
like
dynamic for him.
I was gonna say he should maybe try to jump here, and it looks like he kind of saw it. Might try to use more of like a lock off.
Yeah.
Kind of unsure.
And then also this is a steep part of the route too, so it's like you're burning. You're burning here.
Though he is 11 years old, they don't get as pumped as adults generally.
Can we not talk about age here?
There we go. I was thinking if he grabs this crimp,
it's just
he might be able to get in.
Oh,
Look,
he's in there now. He's in there. I think he's got this.
Let's see if he can make it happen.
Oh, Ellie.
So hard.
Oh, Ellie's fighting.
And
there she goes. She got it.
On a bit of a better hold now.
Good job by Armstrong.
Really great.
Showing us his strength with that fight at the end of this round.
Watson,
Amazing.
Armstrong is a great last name for him.
I know, right?
Armstrong, very strong.
When he comes out, I just see boss energy, honestly. When he was walking out, I was like, oh, he in charge.
He did look really confident walking out, which for someone so young, it's always cool to see that happen. So Ellie really fighting through these cruxes and making a lot of good decisions. Doesn't really have room to not make good decisions if she wants to top the route. It is a well-set route by that route-setting team. Really challenging the athletes well.
She's moving. Nice.
And Watson winning the youth category for the men by 1 point. He's going to be so excited, especially since you said his first Nationals was last year.
Yeah.
And Ellie's so close,
Oh, wow.
so much fight, putting up a great score. So Mo's going to have to come out here and do a lot because Ellie really
She put the
working
fight in that
hard
one.
and getting all those points. So Watson Armstrong score of 49 points. Going to double check with the judge. Just having a blast on the wall. That must be so fun, honestly, as a youth athlete to be here competing with all these adults. Must be super fun.
And they're also scared. They're like, "Oh, how old are you? Are you competing in an open
Yeah,
next
they're
year?"
like, when are you getting in my
How old are
category?
you? Oh, okay, I got some time. All right, 11. Okay, got it.
Like, oh, I got some time. It's all good.
Yeah, it's actually good to see Ellie. I mean, I feel like she's in a different headspace. Like watching her compete last time, I just feel like she came in looking focused when I saw her coming to the gym yesterday. So I really am feeling this.
And you know, we are really winding down to the end of this session of competition. Just a couple more climbers to come out. We've got 2 more athletes, Mo Beck and Lynn Poston will be the final 2 athletes of this first session. And we're going to get Watson on the headset. Watson, can you hear me?
Hey,
yes,
boss.
I can. Oh, hello. So I have a quick question. How much fun did you have up there?
It was awesome. It was a really fun time, and it was a really great experience.
And so I heard that your first Nationals was last year, correct? Did you do Nationals last year? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Did you do Nationals last year?
Yes, I did.
So how does it feel to have your second Nationals be the one that you win?
It feels really great, and and last year was almost as fun as this year. In my opinion, this year was fun.
So this year was a little more fun because you're walking away with that gold, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you figure out to get you were trying to get a little wedged in there at the top. That was a really good plan. What made you think of that?
It's because, like, I never had the opportunity because of my height, I can't reach certain things. So I was not able to reach up and grab the little, really thin slopers, and I couldn't grab them. So I was trying to get my hips close enough to the wall to where I could try and dyno it, but it just didn't work out.
Well, that was great problem solving from you, and congratulations again, and we can't wait to see you here next year. National champion Watson Armstrong. Best of luck later on.
Thank you.
So we've got Mo Beck up on that AU2 route for the women. So multi-time national champion. She has really all the medals. She's got the bronze, the silver, and the gold from multiple paraclimbing competitions. So really the one to beat oftentimes.
In this category, definitively, she's probably one of the longest running competitive paraclimbers in our competitions, one of them. And we have, oh my gosh. First of all, you know, advocacy and athleticism is something, and she does both of that for the paraclimbing community. She serves on the board of the American Alpine Club.
She's on the board of USA Climbing.
Now she's on the board of USA Climbing too.
Yeah.
And then, you know, trying to balance that can be really, really hard. And so, you know, she's also now the senior competitor in her category when she used to be the youngest. And, you know, still powerhousing through a lot of these routes, and it's respect to be given.
And, you know, I did an interview with her like many years ago at this point. I think it was actually during COVID. And I'm pretty sure she ended up starting climbing at a summer camp.
Yeah, when she was 12, she started climbing when she was about 11 or 12 years old. So she actually also has one of the most longest climbing experience, not even as a paraclimber, but as a climber as a whole. Some like Sunny Yang and a bunch of other folks that are here, you know, who have a lot of years of climbing under their belt. And now we have a place to showcase that to the world.
Exactly, and it's so cool. I know she's been back and forth sometimes with whether or not she wants to compete, so the fact that she is still coming out here and competing.
I think she just likes to give us drama. Every year she posts, she's like, I'm not competing this year, I'm not competing this year.
She likes to keep it interesting.
And then like, is she competing? Everybody wants to know.
And you see, she just got through that section with a lot of ease. We saw Ellie kind of work through that section pretty easily as well. It's definitely necessary to have enough energy in the tank to face some of these moves later on.
We're coming up to that second crux that stunts Ellie, and we're going to see if the get it stumped. Let's see if
referencing a film about Mo in the Real Rock a few years ago.
Also
Stump.
about her stump, actually, and my stump, and all the amputee stumps, you know. You know, Stumptown coffee, whatever you want to do in there.
Oh, I do love that coffee.
It's good coffee. All right, now she's looking really confident. Ooh, just missed that.
It seemed
Good
like that
recovery,
was
though.
somewhat of a test, too, to see if,
Like if
she
it's
wanted
good,
to
yeah.
go there.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
There we go. With an athlete like Mo, it's always really fun to watch her climb because she really does have so much technique in her climbing. She kind of is effortless with her movements, and I feel like that's always something that you see from those seasoned competitors that have all of that experience and all those medals.
And there's not very few professional climbers in paraclimbing, and she is a sponsored North Face professional paraclimbing athlete, which we want to see more professional, paid paraclimbing athletes.
Yes, we do. You heard it here first.
How else are we going to get to these competitions?
I mean, again, we're hoping for that Paralympic inclusion in 2028. So
yeah, let's do it.
Mo really looking great here. I believe she should be in a great position to get close to topping this route. She's got a couple more moves. She just has to read them perfectly. Definitely looks like she has so much left in the tank. Just needs to be really smart and patient with all those movements. Nice. Frisky move. So close. So close.
That's got to be the hardest move for a left arm man to stick, though. And she did it dynamic.
And she did stick it. It was just trying to get those feet up.
Yeah, man.
Mo Beck, not disappointing. She's like, was that enough? I can't tell. That thumbs up should make her more comfortable and confident to know that she should be that champion. She's still double checking. Let's get another look at this move.
Add a little jewelry in the tank.
She just has to readjust with that right hand and sticks it, and then it's really just bringing that foot up, kind of coming in against that hold before getting to the yellow hold, kind of stop that momentum to get the foot up. She's literally like, was that enough?
Yeah.
Great climbing from Mo Beck. Should be enough to put her in the #1 spot. 62 points. The women's AU2 national champion, Maureen Beck.
I just realized that we're in the same clothes.
Oh yeah, that's cool. She's going to be really happy with that. Like you said, sometimes she's unsure if she actually wants to compete at nationals each year, but we're glad she keeps coming back because she always puts on such a show, and she is just such an incredible climber. So we're going to get a chance to talk to her in a second, and I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, the crowd is still here, and I think we should be able to hear Mo. Mo, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello. Well, thanks for keeping it interesting for us up there. How did you like the route? You looked amazing. I love some of the risks you took.
It was really fun. I'm disappointed I didn't get that top because I was so
close.
But the setting this year has just been phenomenal, and I'm not really positive. Like, I think I know how I did, but it hasn't sunk in yet, so.
Well, you're the national champion if you didn't know. So just want to make sure you know that. I know you've been the national champion many, many times, but it never gets old, right?
It's never getting easier. Like, I'm the old one out here, and the young ones are just like, I can feel them breathing down my neck, and every year it just gets harder and harder. So.
Well, I love getting to see you on top, and I cannot wait to see you in the World Cups this season.
Thank you.
Are you really looking forward to it?
I'm doing all of them through the World Championships. Yeah, you'll see me a lot more.
Yes. And by the way, how did it? I mean, you stuck that dyno. How did that feel? I know you slipped afterwards, but you did stick that dyno.
It felt good, but it gave me some, stuff to work on for World Cups.
Awesome.
So
well,
great.
We cannot wait to see you in those World Cups, and congratulations on another national championship.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Wow.
Really exciting category.
That was so exciting. My hands are sweating. I just can't believe that we got
to get you chalked up for the rest of this because this is going to get
I know,
better.
but we are winding down. We are to our final competitor in this session, Lynn Poston, our last youth competitor. And so Lynn is going to be in the B3 category next year, I believe, because Lynn I think this is their last season in youth.
Yes,
so
and she is amazing.
Lynn is amazing. They are an incredible climber, and their dad, Scott Poston, will be calling. So again, if you joined us at the beginning of the stream, we started with the B category, and so Lynn, we're going to let them climb and make sure we are silent so we can hear their dad, Scott, share that beta.
All right, send it. Just laddering up, moving right, no right feet. Nice. Moving left. Keep laddering, it's juggy. Yep. You got it. Keep laddering. An undercling, 1 o'clock. Still juggy. You've got a screw on to your right above that undercling. There you go. Never mind. Got it. There you go. You got a nice, you got a right knee 1, that's nice. There you go, on top, on top. Keep, oh yeah, there's one above that too. Yep, take your pick. Probably moving right. You got a nice lean left at 3 o'clock. Pretty far away. There you go. You got a right knee 2 if you need it, it's really good. There you go. Got a right knee 1. There you go. Going straight up. Nice. You got a right knee 1. Looking good. Good. When you're ready, take your time. You got a right knee 1, that's good. You're going to be moving left into beta 1. You got a hidden hold on the left side of the yellow pyramid, but it looks very positive. Looking good. There you go. Nice. Yep. There you go. Moving left. You're in beta 1. Nice. There's a secret hold to your left. Moving up to the rest. Yep, you got it. Just get out of there. Nice. Is that a rest? You got a right knee kick out if you want to rest better. Those next two look like identical holds. I don't know. How's that left one? Okay, good. Next one will be 2 then. Nice. You got a couple underclings at 1 and 2 o'clock. Then you're moving up into beta 2. Yep. Nice lip at 12 o'clock. There you go. Yep, got plenty of time. Get that left knee 0 when you're ready. Yep. There you go. You got it. No right feet. There you go. There you go. Might be a left heel. There you go. You got a nice lean right at. There you go. Nice. You got it. There you go. There's the top. Get it? Nice.
That looks like control to me, so that should be a top
Yeah.
for Lynn Poston. Didn't need to match.
Amazing.
Definitely had that controlled position earlier than the match, but Lynn coming out and doing what they wanted to do. So one of the things I love about Lynn is yesterday they decided that they didn't just need to climb 3 routes. They got on all the routes. Never tired this one, and walking away with a top here, I think, is exactly what they wanted to do.
You know,
Moving into the adults next year.
Anybody watching this in this category is scared right now, because next year.
I know. I would be scared.
I'll tell you.
So I got the pleasure of meeting Lynn, I think 2015, 2016. I actually got to do a private lesson with them. Their parents said, oh, if you climb this climb that you wanted to climb, we'll get you private with Megan. And it happened.
Yeah.
And we got to have a really great climbing session at ABC. And so it's been so cool to see them progress so much since I met them. And
what a perfect way to end this session.
And it's such a great way to end this session. So excited to get a chance to talk to Lynn.
Are we going to get to talk to her? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Hey Lynn, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little bit.
There
you go.
You're doing great. You look awesome. How exciting was it to top that route there?
Oh man, it was really fun. It was, yeah, it was a really fun route, and I was glad I got the top.
And yesterday, we were just talking about how yesterday you got on a lot of the routes because you want to be prepared because you're moving into that adult category next year. So how do you feel having had to figure out that last section of the route and be so patient? Does that make you feel confident moving into that adult zone next year?
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, like you were saying yesterday, I was climbing some of the other B climbs so that I could kind of get an idea of what it would be like next year. And, you know, that route felt really good. And I think, yeah, I should be ready by next year to hopefully do well and, yeah, definitely come back and compete.
I think you're definitely ready, and so exciting for you to get that top. Congratulations on being national champion, and we cannot wait to see what you do next.
Thanks.
Thank you. And just like that, session 1 is coming to a close. But don't go anywhere because we will be back in a couple hours with session 2. Make sure to go to the USA Climbing YouTube page to wait for that link to become live. And we're going to be crowning more national champions. So come back and we'll see you then. Whether you're alpine climbing or cragging after work, Gnarly Nutrition is here to help you push your possible.